Honoring Martin Luther King Jr., WSAV presents live coverage of the 2025 Savannah Martin Luther King Jr. Observance Day Parade.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Savannah's 44th MLK Jr. Observance Day celebration here in downtown Savannah. I'm Kim Gusby.
Former Mayor Dr. Otis Johnson needs no introduction. We're happy to have you back
I had
with
a
us.
special introduction for him. I was going to say...
Let me back up. I'm Ben Katko. Now I'm out of the way.
The man, the myth, the legend, former mayor, historian, jazz music aficionado. Let's see what else. Hater of all things Dallas Cowboys. Okay.
We get along.
We learned
just
that last
fine.
year. Remember?
We get along just fine.
And we are standing right here on MLK Boulevard near Alice Street, in front of the Civil Rights Museum, the Ralph Mark Gilbert Civil Rights Museum, where a lot of history, Savannah's civil rights history, is housed. A lot of familiar faces. A lot of those people not so familiar, but this is one face that is inside that museum.
Well, thank you very much. It is really an honor to be standing in front of this museum named after the Dr. Ralph Mark Gilbert, because when he came to Savannah in 1939, he began to revitalize the NAACP, and he was one of Mr. W.W. Law's mentors. And so there's a lot of history around the name of this great museum. And anyone who hasn't been here should make sure that they come as a pilgrimage to what has happened in Savannah.
And of course, Dr. King's birthday was on January 15th, but today we celebrate the national holiday.
Yeah, it's a big day today, of course, here in Savannah and across the country. As Kim mentioned, January 15th of 1929 is a huge day in the civil rights effort in this country. That is the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A center in Dr. King's name was established by his wife, Coretta Scott King, following his death in 1968. WSAV's Atlanta Bureau Chief Archie Shashadri takes us to where he grew up.
Every year, thousands visit the historic Sweet Auburn district in Atlanta, which houses the King Center, the Ebenezer Baptist Church, and Martin Luther King Jr.'s home.
When I think about him, I think about courageousness. Dr. King was not the biggest man, but he had a big voice, and he had an even bigger heart. So he made sacrifices, as I said, for people, traveling the world, time away from his family.
King was the pioneer of the civil rights movement, pushing for change through nonviolence for all Americans.
His mission was equality for all people with regards to this country. And this country has a terrible history of slavery, of not paying people the hourly wage. He was killed fighting for garbage workers.
Martin Luther King Jr. was shot and killed in Memphis at the age of 39.
This area here in Atlanta, Georgia, is the Martin Luther King Historical District. It's where his body lies, as well as his wife, Coretta.
King pushed to end segregation laws and racial injustice, bringing light to the plight many African Americans faced in the 1960s.
There's been stages. Of course, we can go in restaurants now. We can go into theaters. That kind of segregation is no longer here, thanks to the civil rights movement.
One thing I'm always conscious of is that I would not have the opportunities that I have without the sacrifice of Dr. King and many of the other civil rights leaders.
King's legacy lives on today across Georgia, with streets, parks, and museums named in his honor.
And that was WSAV's Archie Shashadri reporting. Now, we have a lot of events going on to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We'll start off by telling you about the 2025 MLK Observance Day Parade. It'll be stepping off in just a little while on the opposite side of town. It starts at East Broad and Liberty Street and will make its way down Broughton Street, then here to us on MLK and disband near MLK and Anderson Street. You know, years ago, Dr. J, it used to be the other way around. We would start there, correct, and then we would end downtown.
That's right. I think this is a better route than what we learn. We learn from our experiences.
And we have the best seat in the house as well. You know, MLK right now looks a little, not so crowded, but by the time the parade heads this way, you will see hundreds, if not thousands of people lining the streets, cooking food, celebrating the life and the legacy of Dr. King.
They're already getting started just down the street.
Yes.
On my way in, there were some people in a couple of parking lots down there setting up just a great day out here. And to be perfectly honest, it is quite cold out here, but the sun makes it not so bad. If you can get a spot on the street in the sun, you're in good shape.
Well, I think you say that because he gave us hand warmers.
That too.
We also have on 2 pairs of socks. We also have
the boss took care of electric blankets, so
yes.
we're okay for now.
We're pretty warm
We're
right
okay.
now. Now, there are a lot of events scheduled around today to honor Dr. King. And we'll start off by talking about Savannah's Feed the Hungry. They're having their 16th annual MLK Community Dinner. A recommitment to service is what they're calling it. It's immediately after the parade, around 2 o'clock or so at the Frank Callan Boys and Girls Club. That's located at 510 East Charlton Street. For more information, call 912-436-7380.
And moving on, a local favorite also returns following today's parade here throughout the streets of downtown. The annual MLK Jazz Concert begins at 2 o'clock as well at the Unitarian Universalist Church over on East Harris Street. The event features the talents of local musicians, including the legendary name you may have heard a time or two, Huxley Scott. That should be a good time as well.
Oh, that will be a great time indeed. And Tybee Island normally has their annual MLK parade. This year they do not, but they do have their Tybee Clean Beach effort that is going on today. That will happen from 4 until 5. All equipment will be provided. They want to clean up the beach near the Tybee Pier. That's at 1509 Strand Avenue. And speaking of Tybee MLK, you were parade grand marshal one year of that parade.
Yes, when they first started having the parade, Miss Julia Pierce asked me if I would participate, and I couldn't say no because Tybee has an interesting history around the civil rights struggle, and so anything that we can do to help support that effort down there, I think we should do it.
And a picture of those Tybee wade-ins, you can find those right here in the Civil Rights Museum, right here on MLK Boulevard.
That's right.
Up in Bluffton today, there's still plenty going on all around the area. If you find yourself in Bluffton, you can get out to several events there honoring the memory of Dr. King today. There's a memorial program coming up at noon until 2 at the Town Hall on Bridge Street. The parade starts at 2:15 today. The festivities wrap up with a free community celebration and an oyster roast from 3 until 5. That's at Oyster Factory Park if you happen to be in the Lowcountry today.
And in Candler County, a parade honoring the legacy of Dr. King will be held at 2 o'clock today. It will begin at the Metter Police Department and travel down MLK Jr. Boulevard through downtown Metter. Now, if you missed any of this information, we have it all covered. Just visit our website at wsav.com/MLK.
And you can find it all right there. Weather has been a big topic of conversation for many days for a variety of reasons. Let's get through the parade weather first. Alyssa Carsley is going to take us through what you can expect if you're headed out here today in the next couple of minutes, getting ready to leave the house. Alyssa, what's it like?
Well, good morning, everyone. That bitter cold air we saw last week has quickly returned this morning. So if you do have plans to head on down to the MLK parade, make sure you are bundling up. Stepping out the door currently, we're looking at temperatures in the low 30s. By the time the parade starts at 10, we're back right around 37 degrees. We'll stay in the 30s through about lunchtime. Then throughout the afternoon, only in the low to mid 40s. We do have that gorgeous sunshine outside, so make sure you are standing in the sunshine to give yourself that extra boost of warmth, because adding in that light breeze, our wind chill temperatures, what it feels like outside, back below freezing for a couple of hours from when the parade starts at 10 all the way through about lunchtime. And then throughout the afternoon with that light breeze, it will still feel like the 30s at times, even with high temperatures well below average, only back into the mid 40s. So the good news is we do have that gorgeous sunshine hanging on strong for one more day as we head into your Monday. So I hope you all enjoyed the MLK parade.
Now, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was no stranger to Savannah, Dr. J. He came here for, a couple of years back in the 1960s and spent some time at several places, including several churches. I believe we were sitting here together when I showed some video that I had in my file that was gifted to me by the late Edwin Morris, showing Dr. King in a church. Well, during that broadcast, after that parade, the pastor of that church, DeAndre Thurman, gave me a call and said, hey, that's our church. We were always trying to find the piece to the puzzle. We never could prove that he was here, but that is the proof. So right now, we're going to take a look at that package.
Good.
Whether you realize it or not, there are millions of people in this land who are poverty-stricken.
It's no secret that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. visited Savannah on several occasions. He even called it one of the most desegregated cities in the South. That's not to say that Savannah was without problems. There were marches and protests, sit-ins and wait-ins, mass incarcerations, and yes, even violence against those who dared to create change. Some would argue that Savannah's St. Paul CME, often referred to as the Paul, was a major catalyst for what was to come.
Dr. King coming here, it was very interesting that this was the meeting of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, which was the organization he started, led, which would help to progress and continue his work in the civil rights movement.
Quiet as kept, St. Paul has a storied past of its own that extends far beyond the civil rights movement. Reverend DeAndre Thurman is the pastor. He says the church is intertwined with African American history in this nation in an interesting way.
Those that were Methodists prior to emancipation of African Americans that were Methodist were part of white Methodist congregations. So in 1840, the members of Trinity Methodist Episcopal Church South, which is down on one of the squares, granted their black or African American members the opportunity to worship separately. They gave them a plot of land, and that church was called Andrew Chapel Methodist Episcopal Church. They worshiped together, and it was a successful congregation for many years.
During the Civil War and Sherman's march through Savannah, 20 members of the clergy and lay met with the general and Edwin Stanton, President Abraham Lincoln's Secretary of War. The pastor of Andrew Chapel was one of those ministers. The result of that meeting, Special Field Order Number 15, or what we now know as 40 Acres and a Mule.
That group, Andrew Chapel, eventually became St. Paul. So our history as a church even precedes the founding of our denomination in 1870. I found a newspaper article where in 1871, St. Paul officially became a part of the CME denomination.
But the Paul of the past is not the Paul of the present, at least not in the physical sense.
Andrew Chapel had 2 locations, and then after Andrew Chapel became St. Paul, we had 2 other locations before we became here. So actually we're in the 5th iteration of what is now the St. Paul CME Church in the city of Savannah. So when we purchased this edifice in 1964 officially, it was one of the largest African American spaces owned in this city. So many meetings, mass meetings were held here, but in addition to mass meetings, I understand that there were concerts here, and it became a home for the community as a place to gather and a place to grow and a place to celebrate, a place to enjoy one another.
It was also a place to plan. Shortly after the property was purchased, Dr. King himself stood in the pulpit.
So it was amazing that, and if you kind of look at your timeline, this is shortly after 1963, when he was in Washington, D.C. and stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. We've changed the seating since those days in the 1960s, but what we know is that at one point we believed that the church could seat over 900 people. So there were at least 1,000 people on the inside. From what some of the publications tell us, there were people outside listening through the open windows. So it was amazing time for him to be here and to inspire, to lead, and to help us to get where we are today.
Reverend Thurman is the church's 48th pastor. He's been at the helm for the past 16 years. He says he's inherited a legacy of not only spreading the gospel, but being of service.
I'm blessed to pastor a congregation that believes that we are blessed to be a blessing. So we use our resources on a daily basis. Every single day, this church feeds hungry people on the steps of the church. Every single day has students who participate in mentoring programs Monday through Friday in this building. We do our best to reach out on the weekends and to be a place of shelter for those who need some respite from the struggles of life. But that didn't begin with me. It didn't begin with my predecessor, Reverend Delaney. It's always been in the fabric of this congregation.
As for what he hopes to see, Reverend Thurman says he relies on the words that Dr. King gave all of us.
We will continue to move. We will bring the moral weight of the universe.
Dr. King talked about the beloved community, a community where we are all significant, we are all important, we are all seen, and we all have opportunities. We all have equity. And so I think that St. Paul, while we will always work to build people spiritually, will always work to share the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ, will also work in our community so that everyone is treated the way they should be treated.
And Reverend Thurman says that while he thinks the future of St. Paul is bright, the work of the church that started almost 200 years ago continues. He says their focus now is on seeking justice and looking for ways to reduce poverty and improving housing here in Savannah.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
A fantastic story.
Well, the way that it all happened, just from that clip of video and him at home watching our coverage of the parade,
right,
and noticing, wait a minute, that's my church. I recognize the inside of this church.
It unlocked an additional piece of history. That's wonderful.
It did.
Let's talk about the Grand Marshals here today. That's another big, huge part of today's parade. There are several individuals being recognized today by the MLK Observance Day Association serving as VIPs in this year's parade. So, first, this year's Grand Marshals, Mr. Robert R. Jordan and Mrs. Vonette Good Walker. Vonette is she's fantastic.
Listen,
she's
Vonette,
fantastic.
We know her as the executive director of the Civil Rights Museum, but before that, she was a poet, a journalist. She worked all across the country in news agencies, historian, and she is also a tour guide. Now, coming to Mr. Jordan, he's a teacher. He's exactly the teacher of the year, and he works with special education students, and he created, I know you've heard of this, the Male Dreamers Mentorship Program. So that's a pretty big deal.
It's important that young people get mentoring because that makes the difference when they have role models that they can emulate and they can talk with each other on not an equal basis, but on a cordial basis. And that's so important for our young people who may not have that kind of leadership in the home.
And it's funny that you mentioned mentors because for a lot of folks in this community, you are that person. You are that person for our current mayor, Van Johnson, for our former mayor, Edna Jackson, and for a host of other people.
Well, I can't say I was a mentor to Edna, except during the time that she was on the council.
Yes.
She and I, being a little older, we looked at people like Van as the future.
Yes.
And we worked with him, and it's paid off. We're really proud of him now in the leadership that he's given this community.
Now, we also cannot forget about this year's trailblazer, who is Myquan Green. This young man started his own business when he was 12 years old.
Yeah.
Now at 25, he is doing great things with M. Green Productions, and also this year's civil rights activist, Mrs. Betty Ellington, and you know her. She's the widow of the late Coach Ellington, Russell Ellington, and she was also one of the first cashiers, or the first cashier at Alex Super Duper.
That's right, right on Henry Street.
Wow.
There's so much history, and it's nice that we are honoring the people that have brought us to this place, because we don't use the word dying, but we're transitioning,
yes,
and we need to give them their due and their flowers while they can still smell them.
Exactly. And this parade is all about young people as well. We cannot forget this year's theme winner, and that is Rosaria Francis. Her theme for this year's parade is Dr. King believes in unity and rights, advocating clarity, shining bright. I love that.
That is great.
These young people are so brilliant.
They are.
They are brilliant, and it gives us hope when we see young people who can come up with a theme like that. We're secure.
We are secure. What's not secure are our papers
No,
right now.
we're flying around out here today. There is another member of today's broadcast team to help bring this all together. The Bridges Patty Turner is out on the streets and the sidewalks, catching up with everybody in the parade, watching the parade. Let's take it out to her. Patty, good morning out there.
Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Kim. Yeah, it's a little chilly out here this morning, but that's not stopping all these folks coming out today. The parade route is getting lined with lots of folks, and one of those lovely people we have right here, Nicole, and some of her family members. Nicole, it's great to see you, and you told me just a minute ago you are not going to miss this parade today.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is one of the best parades, and I enjoy it so much. And I wanted my granddaughter, she started coming when she was 2, I think. So definitely want her to be here so she could enjoy the festivities.
And you grew up here. You don't live here anymore, but you come back just for this parade.
Yes, I do. I drove down this morning. I live in Jeff Davis County now, but I didn't want to miss it, so we drove down this morning.
Okay, and you have family members who are home watching right now. What would you like to say to them?
You should have come out. This is great. It's not that cold. The wind is a little chilly, but I don't even have my coat on. It feels good.
And what are you looking forward to in the parade today?
She loves the dancing girls, so we're looking forward to the bands. The floats are always really pretty, but she's looking forward to the dancing girls.
Okay, and what's her name?
Brenaya.
Brenaya, are you excited to be here today? Mm-hmm. Are you cold? Just a little bit? You want to say hello to everybody? Mm-hmm. Say hi. Oh, she is precious. All right, well, thank you for talking to us, Nicole, and for your friends and family who are watching. You can remind them. You can watch us on the CW and WSAV.com.
Absolutely. My husband's home watching on the CW under the covers.
Okay. We're not calling you out or anything, but we are. All right, thank you so much. You guys stay warm today. All right, back to you guys.
Thank you, Patty.
That little girl's the sweetest thing.
Oh, my goodness. And that's what this parade is all about.
That's
People
right.
from all over come to attend Savannah's parade. Now, I beg to differ with Nicole. It is cold. Nicole, you need a coat.
It's like saying it's not so bad when the wind blows.
Yeah.
And then in the summertime we say, well, it's not the heat.
Yeah.
It's the humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
right
the same,
now
it's the winter version of that.
It's the wind, it's cold, it's bundle up if you're headed out. And for her husband, I don't blame you.
No.
So now, earlier, Dr. J, we were talking about Connors Temple Baptist Church and how this all began. And the Reverend Benny Mitchell and a group of women at that church, they were behind this entire effort. This celebration has been operating continuously since 1985, but they had been putting in the work before then.
That's right. It was so important to recognize Dr. King, especially in a community like Savannah. And Benny R. Mitchell, along with some other pastors and a group of ladies, got together and they came up with the idea of having a parade. And it started very small, and it's grown every year to the point that we have almost 300 entries this year, and it's an intergenerational thing. One of the things that warms my heart is to see that young lady at this parade, because she will grow up knowing about Dr. King, because young people are curious, and they're going to say, well, who was Dr. King and why are they having a parade? And it gives the adult the opportunity to tell them about Dr. King and to tell them why it's important for them to come to this parade.
And that is the goal. And of course, this is not just a single day. The Observance Day Association has created this honor to Dr. King. It's a year-long celebration that begins in November, that began in November this year, usually in December when they announce the marshals, and it goes throughout the year. Now, we mentioned Reverend Benny Mitchell. I think we do have some video of him because a few years ago, his son, created a documentary that was a labor of love, 10 years in the works, and you were a part of that documentary.
It's an important documentary, and I would encourage everyone to view it. I think you can access it on YouTube, and you can see the opportunities that were presented to advance civil rights here, and Benny Mitchell was a major part of that.
And we can't forget about, we talked about him earlier, Mr. John Finney, who at the EOA did, I believe, the first public celebration for Dr. King immediately after he was assassinated?
That's right. The EOA, under the leadership of John Finney, started commemorating the life of Dr. King shortly after the assassination. And it was the first public opportunity to come together as a community and to celebrate the life of Dr. King. And out of that grew the interest of others like Benny Mitchell and the ladies. And I'm going to get that name of that group, that female group. But somebody will tell us.
Somebody will text you.
That's it. I'm waiting on it. But it was a group of women, along with Benny Mitchell and a few ministers who got together and said, we're going to celebrate, have a public celebration, a real public celebration. We started at the Civic Center, having a meeting after the parade.
Yeah.
And we've gotten away from that now.
Well, speaking of meetings, there was a big one held last night.
Yeah, last night, a big night at St. Philip Monumental AME Church here in Savannah. They held their annual citywide memorial worship service to honor Dr. King. Civil rights activists, trailblazers, local leaders, that's what you're looking at right now, including Savannah Mayor Van Johnson attended that service. Deborah Adams, president of the MLK Observance Day Association, says it's important to remember not just what Dr. King did for African Americans, but what he did for the world.
Anything that time we honor him is important. I believe that he has been deceased longer than he was alive. He would have been 96 years old this month, but he's lived only be 39. So we want to recognize him because he did great things, not just in the city of Savannah, but throughout the United States and the world. So we want to make sure that individuals remember him for his legacy, the work that he did, not just for African Americans, but for all people.
Now, we also remember him locally for being visiting several times the Dorchester Center in Midway. I spoke with Representative Al Williams some years ago, who was a little boy when Dr. King visited and spoke, and he even saw him playing basketball out on the courts there. Imagine that.
Yeah. And also, Dr. King went over to the Penn Center.
Yes.
In South Carolina, and those were workshops where he and the leadership of SCLC got together and strategized on how they would take the next phase of the movement. And so in Liberty County and over in Ladies Island, or where the Penn Center is, two historic places for Dr. King.
Now you must be reading our notes, right, Ben Kako?
You set that up
segue.
Real nice.
Oh, okay.
Segue.
That's where
nice
we're
segue.
headed right now.
Oh, good.
Danielle Cobb explains.
Good.
I would say one of the hot houses of American history. So many things happened here.
The Penn Center, one of the first institutions to provide schooling to previously enslaved African Americans, playing a key role in education as well as a right to American freedom. In the move toward American liberation, it would be no wonder that important figures like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would visit the grounds, settling into the nature and preparing for the next step in the battle for civil rights.
This was the area where it gave birth to the first Reconstruction, and as he was trying to give birth to the second Reconstruction, I think he came here for inspiration.
Between 1964 and 1967, Dr. King visited the center many times, relaxing, writing, and spreading his teachings to natives of the island.
The last book that he wrote, Where Do We Go From Here, Community or Chaos? He started as a lecture right there in Frizzell Hall on this campus.
along with his book, an infamous relic that we all know to this day, his I Have a Dream speech. With the amount of time Dr. King spent writing and planning in the Low Country, the center decided to build him his own getaway on the property, a home which he never got to see complete due to his assassination.
Even though he never really he saw it while it was being constructed, but never got to see the finished product. We see that's kind of like an appropriate symbol for the continued struggle for American freedom.
Though no longer here, Dr. King's insistence on justice still continues on through the property. With the center starting as a platform for American justice and freedom, the struggle still carries on. But Dr. Adams says we're on the road to redemption. Danielle Cobb, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Now, before we head to a break, I want to make this note because we've all heard that Dr. King, before he was assassinated, was planning on coming back to Savannah, Georgia. I spoke with retired Lieutenant John White. He was Dr. King's bodyguard during that time, and he said he was supposed to speak, I think, around Grayson Stadium or somewhere in that area, but it rained that day, and someone had already had plans on doing something, to take his life.
I don't know, so I can't comment on that.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
but Dr. John White, Lieutenant John White, who is still alive, who turned 100 recently, by the way.
Yeah. He was one of the
original
nine, and he had his 100th birthday this summer, and it was a wonderful event.
Yes, a living piece of history.
And his mind is still sharp, and he can tell you all of those stories just like he told you.
Yes, yeah. And he keeps everything. He has the documents to prove it.
Yeah.
The parade is just a couple of blocks away from us here, so we do need to take a quick break. You see it coming down the street there. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be pretty close to diving into the parade, so stick around.
Today, we honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a man whose dream of justice and equality transcended borders and cultures. His belief in the power of a collective voice inspires our continued fight for inclusion and opportunity. For the Hispanic community, Dr. King's vision resonates deeply, from the farm worker struggles led by Cesar Chavez to the thriving Hispanic businesses across America and in the region. His legacy fuels our determination to build a future of hope and equality. His dream is our dream, a world where justice flows like a mighty stream and love binds us together as one people. Let us honor his memory, not just in words, but through action, carrying his torch of equality forward.
Welcome back to Savannah's 44th MLK Observance Day celebration. The parade is just getting to us. We just saw the police motorcade pass by, and we see the mounted patrol coming down the street. And speaking of street, Patty Turner is on the street.
Yep.
And Patty.
Hi, Patty.
Hey, guys. Yeah, it's wonderful. The parade, as you mentioned, is underway right now. The mounted police are coming down to MLK. And once again, we're here in front of the Civil Rights Museum. It is a great location. So we're going to move the camera around so you can see what's happening behind me. So, yeah, see, everybody's out. We have a great crowd today. We have a lot of participants. Everybody keeps saying the parade keeps getting bigger and bigger and better every single year. And the cold weather really isn't keeping people away. The streets are pretty well lined. But as you can see, most people are finding all the sunshine. They're headed to the sunshine. So here comes the trolley. The police officers are starting the parade route here for us as it comes by. I tell you what, it is actually a very beautiful day out here.
All right.
Okay,
Patty,
the trolleys are coming up too.
I didn't want to leave you hanging there,
Oh,
Patty.
no, we're all good. We're all good.
Yeah.
I think
You're
she's
right,
trying to
though.
see
I was
what's
trying
coming
to
up.
process that beautiful day thing.
Oh, but it is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Okay, yes,
Chilly.
it's just a little chilly, a little breezy, but the sunshine is fantastic.
Indeed.
That's right.
No, the parade started off with the Combat Aviation Brigade, 3rd Infantry Division. This is the Combat Aviation Brigade of the 3rd Infantry Division of the United States Army based at Fort Stewart.
And then right behind that, we may have
I think we're running,
here we go, right here. We're back on track right now. The police chief passing us right now, Lenny Gunther of the Savannah Police Department, moving in style on a trolley.
Normally we see him walking through the parade. I was going to say, normally he's walking. This time he's on the trolley.
I understand being inside today. That's why if you can't be inside, everybody that's out here on our end of the parade are all on the other side of the street in the sun.
Well, we see that officer walking. Now coming up, oh my goodness, they are walking. Savannah City Council members, we see Savannah Mayor Van Johnson. Is he going to come over to us this year and talk?
He's
asking now. Yes, Mayor Johnson says now. Your mentor, Mayor Johnson, says now.
No, don't miss an opportunity. He might get sidetracked.
Listen, your mentor, former Mayor Johnson, wants the Mayor Johnson to come over and talk to us today. Yes, we see that you're here.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, man.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's talk about today's parade. And we know it's cold outside, but Mayor Johnson, people are showing up.
It's really nice. It's actually a really good day compared. I just got back from Washington, D.C. It's cold there.
Yes.
And it's even colder today. I mean, it's a great day, beautiful, now cloud in the sky, a great day to celebrate a great man with a great vision.
You're right, but you can say it's not cold because you're from Brooklyn.
No, I've been in Savannah long enough, and the cold gets in your bones and it doesn't leave you. So, no, but it's a great day here, and we have a lot of, I think we've had the largest MLK parade in the country.
Wow.
We're going to be here for a minute. We're in front, so that's a good thing.
Okay, and finally, what would you tell people about today?
I'll tell people that today is a historic day for a lot of reasons. Not only King's birthday, also a presidential inauguration, the peaceful exchange of power, which is a hallmark of our democracy. We've done this 74 times in our nation's history for 47 different presidents. And Savannah was there then. Savannah's here now. Savannah will still be here, and we'll be Savannah strong.
All right. Thank you so much, Mayor Johnson, for joining us.
All right.
Good to see you,
You too, Mr. Mayor. Now he's got to catch up. He's going to have to run, get the blood flowing again. Hey, here comes the Savannah Fire Department led by Chief LZ Kitchen as they come through making a little noise. We appreciate that.
Before the fire department, one group I do want to talk about, that's the Savannah Youth Council, because Mayor Johnson, you were the one who helped form this organization.
Yes, the Chatham County had already established the Youth Commission, and they're only high school students. And so when I became mayor, I got with Van, who was working with the Chatham County Youth Commission, and said, well, now let's go down one level and get the middle students involved in learning about their community and the government so that we can generate a new generation of people who will be willing to serve their community.
Now, right behind the Savannah Fire Department, we see the Chatham County Police Department. Major Tolbert or Jeffrey Hatley, Chief Hatley, may or may not be in that. Are they? Oh, yes. I see Assistant Chief Tolbert. There's her car. Okay, and there's Chief Hatley's car up front. And I think we're getting a shot right now of Assistant Chief Tolbert. She's getting out of the car.
Oh, yeah.
Get out and make the rounds.
And she's that kind of person. She's a people person.
She is.
And that's got to be part of that job, too. You have to be a people person. You have to be able to work with and get along with the communities that you serve. It's a give and take for both sides.
That's right.
Yes.
And her husband, Terry Tolbert, has now been the successor to John Finney.
Yes.
And Terry has been there for years and years, helping to fight poverty and disadvantage in our community.
And we appreciate him so much for that.
So that's a family of service.
It is a family of service. Now we see the City of Savannah Recreation and Leisure Services under the leadership of Director Nick Roberts, serving the recreational needs of all residents of the City of Savannah, young and old.
There's the sheriff.
Oh, and we do see our new sheriff. He just won the election. Chatham County Sheriff Coleman, we see here, Richard Coleman walking in the parade.
Yeah, walking is the first time as Sheriff of Chatham County, leading the pack there, right behind the commissioners So a little bit of the county lawmakers here coming through now.
And I think Patty's going to grab him right now. Patty, what do you have?
That's what it looks like.
Okay. Hey guys, look who I got. I got the new sheriff in town. Hey, it's great to see you today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. An honor to be here, actually. Yes.
What do you think about these crowds today on this cold Martin Luther King
Listen,
Day?
it's just amazing to see the people come out to support Dr. King, his life, his legacy. I'm grateful to be part of this. I'm a little winded because the guy get used to all his walking, right? But it's just an honor to be here to celebrate this great day.
Well, it's great to see you too. Stay warm.
Thank you, Boo-Boo. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And I have to say that Coleman made history when he was elected because he is the first African-American sheriff of Chatham County.
Yes, yes.
And we keep having these firsts, you know.
We still continue. And you wouldn't think in 2025 we would still have these firsts.
Well, we got a lot of things that we've been excluded from.
Yes.
And so we've got a lot of space to make up. And he's a pioneer in this regard.
Speaking of space, there's a lot of space between that entry and these folks coming up the street. We're trying to see who they are. Let's see. I think this might be Judge Lisa Goldwire Colbert. Maybe, perhaps. I don't know.
No.
I don't see yet.
Not in the mink coat.
Not. I think these are still members of perhaps the police
Still
department.
may be the police department. No, they'll catch up. Weren't they supposed to be at the beginning of this?
They were. That might be Dion Hoskins from the school board. That looks like Dion.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah,
It looks like we're supposed to be at the Savannah Chatham County Public Schools.
You know what?
Okay.
So, because there's Ellerby. I see them all. Good morning. Yes, former Savannah police officer. Now he works with the school board police department. Yeah, Dion said, let me get off this trolley and walk.
Get the blood flowing out here a little bit, you know? Try to stay warm.
Yeah, so we have the superintendent and school board members on board the trolley, along with the teacher of the year and instructional support person of the year. And Dr. Denise Watt should be somewhere on that trolley. Or did she jump off to walk as well?
I didn't see her. She may be out there.
Maybe that's the way to keep warm, right?
I feel like that's got to be the key, you know? And to the sheriff's point, I don't know that he's winded because of all the walking. You got to work harder when it's cold.
Yes, you do. You do.
I'm just trying to help him out here.
Hey, there's Judge Chris Middleton's car, but I don't see him in the car.
He's probably walking somewhere.
Now there's Lisa. Okay, there's
Judge.
Judge Coleman. Let me tell you about Judge Colbert. Okay, funny story. A few years ago, you know she does the double dutch in Savannah. Okay, so she has a double dutch team. I was on there briefly. I'm a double dutch dropout. Okay,
but can you do it though?
She can do it. Okay, I took my glasses off for a picture. Could not find my glasses. We're looking for them, and the photographer looks at Lisa and goes, "What's that on your shirt?" She had her glasses on her shirt and my glasses on, wearing them. And you know what? I think Patty is going to have a word with Judge Colbert.
I have two judges with me right now, Colbert and Middleton. Colbert, it's great to see you guys today. How do you think the parade is going so far?
Very beautiful, despite the cool temperatures. We're enjoying seeing everybody and getting to shake hands and kiss babies and be happy.
All the fun stuff, right?
People are happy to see us.
Exactly. And I see you're all bundled up with your fraternity stuff here.
Yes, indeed. Member of Omega Psi Phi. This is a member of Delta Sigma Theta as well, brother and sister combo. So we're representing the Superior Court bench here in Chatham County.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
What would you like to say to all the viewers who are watching at home on WSAV.com or on the CW?
Let's just remember Dr. King's wonderful legacy, peace, love, doing what's right, even when no one's looking.
Message of unity and love.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the day here. Okay.
There's our district attorney.
Yes, our district attorney, Shalina Cook-Jones there, riding in the convertible. And right before them, you were waving at Tammy Mosley. She's in the parade as well.
Yes.
And Judge Stokes is supposed to be somewhere in this lineup.
And our tax commissioner.
Our tax commissioner.
Miss Jackson.
Oh, there she is in a fur coat. She's waving at us right now.
Right. All the celebrities are here today.
I know. And it feels so good for us to be on this side, actually seeing them walk by and we're able to wave. You know, normally our back is turned to them.
Right.
so we can really see what's going on.
Here comes the Garden City Police Department. Sergeant Philip Green. He's the AWatch commander with the department there. He served the community of Garden City for more than 23 years.
Wow.
He's a proud Army veteran. He's been in law enforcement for 30 years.
Okay, and Garden City has their trolley there, but right now, Patty has our tax commissioner. Patty.
I do. I have Sonia Jackson here with me right now, who looks absolutely beautiful in her fur coat. How appropriate for today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, how would you describe the turnout so far today?
I think the turnout has been phenomenal. The weather has not stopped the participants, and it's just been a great crowd to come out to show unity for MLK Day. I'm just so excited.
And what would you like to say to all the viewers who are watching at home and maybe even around the world on WSAV.com, because we're live streaming right now?
Happy MLK Day. Next time, we'd like to see you here in Savannah, Georgia to celebrate with us.
All right, you just heard it from the tax commissioner herself. Come here. All right, thank you so much.
And not only is she fashionable, but she looks warm in that fur coat.
Yeah, she's doing it right.
Now, you know, we just saw the Mayor Pro Tem of the city of Port Wentworth, Gabrielle Nelson. She is in the SUV along with her two young sons. They come with her everywhere. I love that.
And that's nice.
This is pretty cool here, this little tidbit about the city of Pooler as they pass by. The mayor and council of Pooler are pleased to participate in the parade for the very first time.
What? Wonderful.
Welcome. That's cool.
And now, okay, I knew he was going to show out. I knew. This is Robert Jordan. This is one of this year's parade marshals, and I knew it. You know, he's an alpha man, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, and also the founder of Male Dreamers Academy, a teacher with our Savannah Chatham County school system, teacher of the year, and look how fly he looks.
I'm telling you, that's the word.
You know, there's not a lot of days around here you can wear fur
wait
coat.
a
This
minute.
works.
Okay, stop the presses. Stop the presses. Okay, I think Patty is talking to Mr. Jordan right now, and as soon as she's done, we're going to talk to our other marshal this year.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry, I didn't get my cue right. I'm here with one of the parade grand marshals. She said, yes, looks very wonderful on this beautiful car. What do you think about the parade today?
Man, it's beautiful. The weather it's cold, but it's beautiful, and the sun came out, and it shows about the unification in Savannah and how we're working together and doing this thing on a beautiful day and moving forward in 2025. I love it.
You do so much work in the community. Thank you for all that you do. What would you like to say to others who are thinking about supporting the community or maybe getting involved, or what they could do to support your work?
I would say find your niche, find what works for you and what it is that's in your heart to be an advocate for other individuals in the community, and find the role that you feel best fit you to be able to be a blessing to other people. Remember, it's not about us, it's about giving back to others that are less fortunate than you.
Very important message on this Martin Luther King Day. Thank you so much. Enjoy the parade.
Same to you.
So now, Patty, you know what? We have Vonette Goodwalker, who is the other marshal of our parade. We have her jumping up and across lines, waiting on Mr. Jordan to finish his speech. But we're going to talk to Vonette real quick because she has to jump back into her unit and get back into the parade route.
All right, we're coming. We're bringing the camera over so we can get the interview. Okay. So here we go.
Okay, you can talk to her in the street. She's going to come over to you, Patty. Okay.
We'll get the parade moving here again. We stopped it. Sorry about that.
To keep the parade moving along. Okay.
She is something.
Okay, so she's gonna get back in her unit. Okay, she jumped out to say hello, jumped back in her unit, but that's okay because you know they don't want you to hold up the parade. But you know what? Right behind her unit is Mrs. Betty Ellington, and we were talking about her. She is the civil rights activist for this year's parade, an extraordinary individual.
No doubt about it. She's been in the struggle a long time.
Yes, yes.
And again, I want to just emphasize the importance of giving these people their roses and their accolades while they can still appreciate it.
And we see Rosario Francis, who's the first place theme winner for the MLK parade, and then the second place theme winner there in a unit as well, and the third place theme winner there in a unit as well.
Reading through these themes, the winner Her theme is Dr. King believes in unity and rights, advocating clarity, shining bright. The second place winner, her theme, Together We Rise, Together We Lead, Together We Achieve. And the third place winner, Aspire to be One, United, Equality, and Justice for All. Those are all such wonderful themes. It's so hard to pick one to be the winner. They're all so good.
They are all very good. Right behind the winners, we see Myquan Green, who is this year's trailblazer for the MLK Observance Day Parade. And this young man started his own business at the age of 12, is now 25. Can you imagine that? M. Green's Productions. You see the big trolley right here. Photography, printing, marketing, community. That says it all.
It is amazing what these young people can do when given an opportunity.
I had the chance actually to meet him a couple of years ago when he was still in high school.
Yeah.
And not knowing him previously at all, you could just tell that there was something about this young man that he was going to be successful at what he wanted to do. So congratulations to him. Like you said, Mr. Mayor, give them their flowers now.
Oh, yeah.
And he's been at it for a long time and has even expanded. And, just a few, was it last month? His company fed more than 300 people during the holidays.
Yeah. That's right.
Now, I think we see Chatham Area Transit and one of our favorite people.
One of our good friends.
Ariel Johnson, who is the public relations person for the organization. She knows we always give her a shout out because she used to work with us at WSAV.
She did. She did.
Now, Chatham Area Transit is excited and honored to proudly participate in the annual parade. This event is a significant occasion to honor Dr. King's legacy of equality, justice, and community service, they say.
And then just a step or two behind them, you might be able to hear them right now. The Rebel Brigade from Robert Groves High School Army JROTC program. What a wonderful program, inspiring cadets to become the best version of themselves through drill and ceremony. They have leadership opportunities, career exploration, STEM activities, adventure training. They've been at it for more than 60 years.
Let's take a listen.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here with Luella Sanders with ViStar Credit Union. Hey, and you have the Ghost Fight. Yes, I know. How is it being a part of the parade this year?
It's amazing. We are so excited to be here, to be a part of the 44th annual MLK Parade in Savannah, Georgia, because we are one, we are united, and ViStar is out here in the community. In addition, working with our wonderful Ghost Pirates, we're just excited to be a part of this parade, be a part of the community, come out and see ViStar, go out and see the Ghost Pirates, and we're going to all be together, all one.
Couldn't have said it better. Thank you, Luella. Y'all have a great day today. All right, take care.
Thank you, Patty. And was that Davy Jones with them, the mascot of the Ghost Pirates?
It is. Yes, it is.
Now, Dr. Johnson, you have a story about Groves High School, right? This is one of the schools that Chatham County desegregated.
That's right. It was one of the first two, Savannah High and Groves High. And to see these young people now as a part of the ROTC is very, very pleasing for someone who knows the history of what happened at Groves in 1963.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nice place for the few African Americans that went there, but they endured, and now you see that the majority of those kids are African American. And so I keep saying we've come a long way, and if you know the history, you know that's a factual statement.
Now, right behind them, you see Curtis V. Cooper Primary Health Care, and this individual was so important to our community. Curtis V. Cooper, once the president of Savannah's NAACP chapter, did a lot in our community.
And he was one of the leaders of the boycott that made downtown a different place where we could come and try on clothes and eat at counters and other kinds of things. So he's had a wonderful legacy in Savannah before he became the leader of the health clinic here.
Now we're taking a close look at this trolley that is riding Alpha Theta Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. We see our executive producer of the bridge, Tarsha Bush. She is on that float. She's a member of Zeta Phi Beta, and they just celebrated their anniversary. They were founded January 16th, 1920 on the campus of Howard University. Yay! And there's another entry in our parade full of young people.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's coming down the street right
Not
now?
100% sure. I think we might be kind of out of order, but that is okay. Of course it's okay.
It's okay, but I'm trying to see if these colors are my colors.
That's what I was thinking.
They are your colors.
Are these my colors? Is this red and gray? I'm just trying to. I want to get it right because I don't want to misidentify this group because this may not be us, but is it?
We'll know in a minute.
Let's just go ahead and take a listen.
See, I didn't have a chance to say it, but on beat, I'm going to say,
all right.
hold up, wait a minute, let me put some Jenkins in it.
All right. You know, once you learn those things, you never forget.
You never forget. They call themselves the Crimson Symphonic Sound Machine of my alma mater, H.V. Jenkins High School, their marching band.
All right.
And you know, this song is appropriate. Cold-Hearted Snake, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think this is a great time for a break.
I think so.
You know,
you get that first band through here, you know, we're feeling pretty good.
Especially when you get the HVJ marching band through
Oh,
here.
heaven. We're glad to have them. They're very, very good.
All right.
We'll be right back.
I'm going to give you that because if I see beach, I'm going to go off the wall.
They're coming up.
Yeah, okay.
I consider it an honor to be selected to serve as a civil rights activist for the 2025 Martin Luther King Parade. I had the privilege of listening to Dr. King at Ebenezer Baptist Church in the early 60s. He serves as an example for us to work together, to bring our community together, and to be an example for the young children of today. If we set the example that Dr. King set for us, we will enable our young people today to come together and work for the improvement and set a nonviolent environment. We must work together and we must follow his example.
All right, welcome back to this year's MLK Observance Day Parade. Ben Katko here with Kim Gusby, former Savannah Mayor Dr. Otis Johnson. Year after year, we come out here, we have a great time. The weather is not ideal with the temperature today, but a beautiful day, Mr. Mayor.
It is. And no matter what the weather is, we still have to come out and pay our tribute to one of the greatest men that ever lived on this earth.
And it's such an enjoyable day. Everything that has come through so far, we're about 55, 60 entries through, and you can kind of feel it through everybody, that everybody is having a good time. Everybody's in a good mood. Everybody's celebrating.
And that is the way. We talk about a man of peace. Dr. King personified that whole idea of being able to live peacefully with one another. And toward the end of his life, you know, he was really against the Vietnam War and spoke out against it. And that caused him a lot of angst because he was going against the establishment, but he was standing up for the principles of nonviolence and peace in a peaceful world.
Well, Savannah has such a rich history when it comes to celebrating Dr. King and this observance every year. This is one of the larger celebrations and parades in the country, not just this part of the country, but the country.
That's right. It shows our respect for this great man, and the way you show respect is to come out and participate in things like this. And as was previously said, this is not a one-day event. This is the annual parade, but there are activities throughout the year to commemorate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
One other thing we mentioned earlier was how great it is to see the generations out here.
That's
to
important.
See the smallest children to the people that have been here in Savannah since, who's counting, since they've turned 100. But, you know, it's great to see that when you're bringing the little ones out here and showing them what it's about and teaching them a very important piece of history.
No doubt about it. And this is the way you have to help these young people understand the importance of what Dr. King stood for. And he was the leader of a movement. We talk about Dr. King, but he also talked about being sort of like the ground crew, you know.
Right.
And he used that symbolism of the pilot gets all of the credit, but without the ground crew, the plane couldn't get off the ground.
Right.
And so without the people, the unknown foot soldiers that were a part of the civil rights movement, he wouldn't have been able to do the things he was able to do.
Right.
Now, we just saw caring moms in the parade. They've been caring for children in business for the past 20 years. But before that, we saw the Earl T. Shinholster Youth Leadership Institute. And that's very important because Earl Shinholster, when it comes to civil rights in Savannah, the Shinholster name is synonymous
That's right.
you know, with civil rights.
It's a family affair. And Earl went on from Savannah to become, at one time, the acting executive director of the NAACP.
Yes.
And tragically, he was killed in an automobile accident on the job, doing what he needed to do, going from place to place to spread the work of the NAACP. And we're right under the Earl Shinholster overpass that comes at the end of I-16. Mm-hmm. And there's some discussion now about perhaps removing that overpass, but creating another place of memory so that name will never die.
Yes, and there's a new exhibit inside the Ralph Mark Civil Rights Museum.
Correct.
Honoring him. Now, you know, you just talked through your school, A.E. Beach High School's junior ROTC, so I'll let you have the floor, Dr. Johnson.
Well, again, I'm very proud of the young people who go into the ROTC because it gives them the discipline and the guidance and the other kinds of things that's important in their development. And there was a time when people like me had no NROTC to be able to participate in. And now they're at, I think, almost all of the senior high schools now.
Now we just saw the Unitarian Universalist Church, the members of that church. Remember, following the parade at 2 o'clock is the annual jazz concert featuring Huxley Scott at that very church. I believe Patty is going to stop James Gardner with Upscale's Imaging. He is always looking good. And look at that car in the parade.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Kim, we should come over and interview you. How you doing? He says hello, Kim. Kim is over there. There you go. See? Good morning. Good morning. How's it being in the parade today? How would you describe it?
Great day to be alive. A great day. It's a blessing to be here. It's a great day. Yes, ma'am. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. This is a beautiful car, by the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. We try hard. We are Upscale Photography. 24 years in business here in Savannah, Georgia. Yes, ma'am.
Well, what would you like to say to all the folks who are watching, maybe who don't live in Savannah, who want to learn about this parade?
It's coming behind, right behind you, right there. Okay. Yes, the kids come behind you right there. My daughter right there.
Oh, we'll go back there. Okay, we will do it. All right, thank you. And here's Upscale Photography right behind him. Your dad said we should come over and say hello.
Thank you. Good morning. Happy MLK Day, everybody. Happy MLK Day, Savannah.
Happy MLK Day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right behind Upscale Imaging on Temple Missionary Baptist Church, but we have to have a spot here in this parade because we are always on your side, and that's our WSAV News 3 team. We see Tina Tyre-Shaw, Ben Singer, Alyssa Carsley, Scott Roberts driving the Storm Tracker. Patty, over to you.
All right, yes, look who I found walking in the parade. We have Tina, Alyssa, and Ben, and of course our Storm Tracker. Okay. Oh, hey, Scott. Scott's got driving duty right now. Okay, you guys have been walking in the parade since the very beginning. How would you describe the turnout today?
Great turnout today. Everyone's bundled up, and we feel the love. We feel the love, and we're so excited. WSAV participating in the Martin Luther King Jr. Day Parade every year since it started, actually, Patty. So we're excited because we know that our community means a lot, and we're giving them what they want. We are all about the community, and this is just an exciting day. It's cold, of course, but guess what? The sunshine is beautiful, and we love the sunshine and the light that Dr. King shined for people of all races. And that's the one thing that a lot of people are talking about today, the love, the generosity, the coming together, and that's what it's all about.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Okay, how many parades have you guys been in all together? How many have you done, Tina?
Oh gosh, I lost count. To be honest, I've lost count.
Okay. Alyssa, how many?
I don't know, just a handful. But this is the one I think everyone's been like, is it going to snow tomorrow?
Right.
I've heard so many questions on that.
Right. It's Happy MLK Day, and will it snow tomorrow? Literally everyone, which we appreciate. People are engaged. They're paying attention.
Yes. And we got so lucky because it's sunny now. It's actually beautiful out here, just a little chilly.
Yeah, and everyone's been standing on the sunny side, so like still warming up too. So it's been a great day. It really has been. The weather has been holding off until tomorrow at least, so it's all good. Yes.
All right, you guys enjoy the rest of the parade. I am having the best time. I love it. A great crowd. All right, y'all take care. And we have Scott Roberts back here driving the vehicle. How you doing, Scott?
Doing great, Patty. Great to be here on this Martin Luther King Day.
They were just saying, everybody keeps asking about the snow tomorrow, too. Is it going to snow?
Yeah, we're going to get some around the region now. How much we get and where is still a little bit of a question there. We're going to be really working to nail that down as we head into the next few hours, so we'll have a good idea tonight.
But the timing worked out perfectly for the parade today, didn't it?
It's a great morning. Weather-wise, it's cold, but at least it's a sunny day to celebrate King's legacy here in Savannah.
Thank you, Scott. Take care. All right.
All right. Thank you, Patty. You know, Scott answered the question because our director, Tim O'Connor, he says, is it going to snow? So there's the answer, Tim. There is the answer. Now we see Savannah's Deliverance Center with Chief Apostle Charles Wilkerson. They are located at 2115 Barnard Street in Savannah. And behind them, Faith Kingdom Ministries with Pastor Deborah Griffin. It's amazing how many people have opted to jump out of their trolleys
Yes, yes.
and walk in
Take a little
today's
walk.
parade.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe they're a little warmed up because they started on the opposite end of the city on East Broad Street, so now they're kind of getting that blood moving.
Right.
As for us, though, we're sitting in the shade and we are still cold.
It's a lovely seat underneath this oak tree, but I'll tell you, it's chilly.
And I'd rather be in the sun.
Yes, so would I.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, these people across the street from us, a lot of people with the right idea over here today. One, pick the side of the street where it's sunny, but two, the folks that have pulled their cars up right here on the side of the street. There you go. You hop inside, you warm up, you're doing okay.
Yes.
Well, you see some of these people come to the parade every year.
Right.
So they know where their spot is.
That's right.
And they know where the sun is going to be shining. And you can see them, they staked out their spot.
And you know what? They have the same spot every year.
Every year.
And right before we hear from Groves High School, you know, right across from us, we see Panhandle Slim and his son with a sign that says, "Make America What It Ought to Be."
Yeah.
And that's with Dr. King's face on his work.
I can tell you that Dr. King was trying to make America what it ought to be. He and thousands of others that really pushed to make this country live up to what it says it is.
Okay, so now we're going to take a listen to the Groves Marching Rebel Band under the direction of Ms. Brianna Bird. The lead drum majors are Patrick Horton Jr. and Julian Levitt.
They have a large band compared to some of the others.
And right behind them, we see the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and Martha Inc. Precious Gems mentoring program. They say we are one sisterhood, one brand, one AKA. And they recently celebrated their anniversary, I believe on January 15th, was it?
I don't know.
And here's the Gamma Sigma Omega chapter. We see a couple of members on the trolley where it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
They got the right idea.
They got the right idea.
And right behind them, we see South Atlantic Medical Association. It's a coalition of African American healthcare professionals, including physicians, dentists, pharmacists, podiatrists, and chiropractors, whose mission is to advance medical science for the benefit of underrepresented minorities in Savannah and nearby areas. Okay, and Patty, who do you have right now?
Well, she is the president of Alpha Kappa Alpha, AKA here. Tell us about your participation today and all the wonderful things you guys do in the community.
Well, today we are participating because Dr. King was all about service, and so are we. So we love to give back to our community. We volunteer and give back to Theros Place and the Main Street YMCA, West Broad Street YMCA, and a slew of other agencies. So we just love to be of service and give back to those that we can.
Okay, well, we got to catch up to the rest of your sisters up there. Nicole, thank you so much for coming out today. Enjoyed it, your MLK Day. Thank you.
Yes, and that was their president, Nicole Fields, we just heard from. And we see a trolley with Greater Friendship Baptist Church, and they're under the leadership of Bishop Charles Brown, who I went to Herschel V. Jenkins High School with, and Lady Brown.
Okay.
And Coastal Habitat for Humanity's their Restore program. Habitat for Humanity partners with people in communities all over the world to help them build a place they can call home. Habitat homeowners help build their own, and that, you know, puts us in mind of the late President Jimmy Carter.
Yes. He was a real advocate for that kind of involvement. And the good thing about President Carter is that he didn't tell people what to do and stand on the side. I mean, he got out there and hammered and sawed and really participated in helping low-income people have a decent place to stay.
There's so many images of him, mid-90s, upper 90s.
He and his wife Rosalind.
Out there swinging a hammer, building a house.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you're going to preach it, go ahead and practice it.
Thank you.
And he did that for sure.
Thank you.
And we also just saw the executive director of Savannah's Habitat, and that's Zarek Samples. He was walking in the parade wearing his purple.
Yep.
And now we have Star Dance Company.
Whoa.
Here they are. Now listen, I know why you're saying whoa, because I know they must be cold. Is that why?
Ooh, yes, that's why I'm saying, ooh, my goodness. Oh. Whoa.
Okay, so as we watch their performance, this is going to lead us into a quick break, and stay with us. We'll be back with Savannah's 44th MLK Observance Day celebration.
I'm State Representative Carl Gilliard. Today, we honored Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a beacon of hope and justice. His birthday reminds us of the power of service. As Dr. King said, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. This Martin Luther King Jr. Day, let's commit to making a difference in our communities, volunteering, uplifting others, and spreading kindness together. We can carry his dream of equality and compassion, and remember, your actions create lasting change. For 16 years, Feed the Hungry has played a role in serving the working poor, and we've served 1.5 million servings through Hope on a Plate. Join us in celebrating today and every day. I'm State Representative Carl Gilliard, wishing you a happy MLK Day.
And welcome back to Savannah's MLK Day Parade. We are here on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in downtown Savannah. A beautiful sunny day, albeit a bit chilly. And as Carl Gilliard was saying there, the MLK Community Dinner by Feed the Hungry is happening after the parade, right around 2 o'clock today. All that information, if you've got your phone in your hand there, you happen to be watching us online, hop on over to WSAV.com. You'll find all the information you need to go to that festival there this afternoon, the 16th annual, by the way. Coming up here, the Omar Temple, the next couple of entries here. We're about 100 entries into this year's parade of just slightly less than 300, so we're about a third of the way through here today. But what a wonderful day for a celebration. With us today, Kim Gusby, who stepped out for just a second, and former Savannah Mayor, Dr. Otis Johnson. We love having you here. I learn something new every year. I tell you that every year, but every year that we're here together, I always learn something new.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, when you've been around 82 years, you know a lot about what has gone on. And the Omar Temple is one of those organizations that's been around a very long time, and they do a lot of good. But one of the things that sets them apart are those little cars and those scooters and stuff like that. They love it.
That's right. That's right.
And I don't see as many as they normally have, and maybe they'll be coming up again somewhere. But they're one of the parts of the parade that we look forward to.
Well, we certainly have plenty of time to get to them. We've got about another 200 entries here today. You see right there who just passed the JROTC, the Blue Jacket Army. from the School of Liberal Studies at Savannah High School. They're making their second consecutive appearance in this parade. They're led by CW2 Timothy Waters, the cadet commander, and everybody else who is with them today. That's our third or fourth JROTC group. It's a great program at the schools all throughout the area.
It is, and as I said earlier, it's important for young people to be involved in things like activities like that, because it gives discipline, it gives camaraderie, it helps them understand how to get along with each other. It's just important in teaching life lessons.
It opens up a whole other world to them that may not have existed to them before, or it may be something that they never really considered as an avenue and a pathway into life, and they have found something that they enjoy now.
That's right.
Coming through here right now, we are on number 112, the folks at Brampton Baptist Church. As you hear another one of the bands coming through here, you'll see them in just a moment as they come up here. But the Brampton Baptist Church is at 24 Coach Joe Turner Street with Bishop Jermaine Oliver, the pastor, one of the oldest churches in America, as they pass through here in today's parade. Right behind them, the Goodwill of Southeast Georgia's Unity Squad. They're committed to fostering a diverse, equitable, and inclusive culture within the organization. As a workforce development organization, Goodwill helps provide training and resources to help folks achieve their highest potential. Now, that band you hear and you see right there, that is the band from Soul C. Johnson High School. This is always a good time for us to just sit back and take a listen. Let's do that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
How's it going?
So you know, this is the Symphony of Soul, Saul C. Johnson High School.
Yeah.
We just talked to the band director, Kenyatta Tucker. If Tucker sounds familiar to you, that's because he's my husband's nephew.
All right.
So, Mayor Johnson, I want to get back to a comment that you said, and it's true about the band sizes nowadays. Years past, you know, bands would involve so many students, and now we've seen them on a smaller scale.
No doubt about it. When there were only a few high schools, we had large bands. But now that we have multiple high schools, the band size is really shrunk.
Yes.
And so some of the best days of my life I spent in the Beach High Band.
Yeah, I forgot you're a member of the band.
Oh, yeah.
You've done a lot of things, Dr.
Just
Johnson.
a thing or two.
Right? And
Yeah.
you know, in the beginning, I thought he was throwing shade to Jenkins when he said, the bands are getting smaller. But but I understand what you're trying to say now, okay?
Yeah.
Now we're going to toss it across the street to Patty. She's standing with Panhandle Slim.
Better known as Panhandle Slim. We know his artwork all over town, makes beautiful statements, and it's great to see you here today. This is what, your 18th parade you've been to?
18th, I believe. Yeah, whenever I moved here. I haven't missed one yet. Yeah.
You haven't missed one yet.
I just remember carrying him in a stroller. So
And your son is here with you today. Oh, both of them.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about what you brought here
And
today.
I've made a painting every time I've come.
Oh,
yeah.
so this is your newest painting for this year's parade.
Yeah. But I've done this one a lot. Martin said this on his last speech before he was shot, and of course it says a lot. Yeah.
Make America what it ought to be.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure people can read it.
Make it what it ought to be. Meaning, for some people, it wasn't so great. Yeah. But that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Well, how would you describe the parade today? You said you've been here this is like your 18th parade. How would you describe the turnout today?
It's great. Yeah, I'd say I kind of start on Broughton and then come all the way down and see it all. And big turnout. Yeah.
It's great to see everybody out here today, isn't it?
So far, so good. Yeah. Good people. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Scott. Panhandle Slim, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. Thank you.
Well, yes, thank you.
Yeah, Scott Stanton, Panhandle Slim. We all know him around Savannah, and he's also known all over the country for his body of work. We appreciate him so much.
Yeah, if you don't know him, you've certainly seen the work he's done.
No question
yes.
about it.
No question about it. Okay, now you're taking a look at Iota Phi Lambda Sorority Incorporated. They were organized back in 1929. The new chapter was organized in 1938 on the campus of Savannah State University.
Oh, very nice. Oh, they brought a championship belt and everything here.
Did they?
Right here at the back.
Wait, but is that a Cowboys hat that he's holding back there? Is that a Dallas Cowboy hat that he's holding in his hand? Okay, so I believe that these are the Star Gang Savannah group. They are diehard Dallas Cowboy fans. How do I get a membership in that club? They say we have a chapter throughout the United States, and our home base is in Atlanta, DC4L. Lovers in Savannah, come join us. We do positive things throughout the year. So that means DC for life, Dallas Cowboy for life. You know,
it probably means something else.
you know, I'm an old school Cowboys fan. Back in the days of Tony Dorsett, Roger Staubach,
boy.
you know?
Oh, boy. You're beginning to date yourself now.
That was way back in the day.
I can promise you I've heard of both of them and know about both of them, so we're all okay.
Oh, more shade, Dr. Johnson, more shade.
Tony Dorsett is from my neck of the woods where I grew up.
He didn't say he lived through it. He heard about it.
Right.
I was smaller.
Well, he's the youngster in the trio here.
My hair's getting a little gray.
Even more shade. You know, we're taking a look at Iota Phi Lambda Sorority Incorporated. No, top ladies of distinction. We just got a shot of them. But Vonette Good Walker is standing right next to us now. And we're going to talk to her in just a few moments if we can get somebody over here. She is the executive director of the Ralph Mark Gilbert Civil Rights Museum. She is also this year's parade marshal. We saw her just a little earlier as she was coming through the parade in her unit, and right now she's done with the parade, so she's resting, and hopefully she has taken a few breaths so she can come over and talk to us.
Yes, happy King Day. It's a day on, not a day off. I'm excited to be here in the backdrop of the Ralph Mark Gilbert and to have been a part of this historic parade today. It's amazing, Savannah.
How does it feel being honored as this year's marshal?
Well, it's basically my hallmark moment. You know, it's a dream come true being in Savannah. It's just the work that I do, and I think that's the important thing. And if I've got this building of history behind me, I want to teach it to everyone who wants to learn about it. We're here on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. We honor Dr. Ralph Mark Gilbert. What a better day for civil rights than Dr. King's birthday. Happy birthday, Dr. King.
You know, under your leadership, this facility has evolved so much.
Well, it's even more. Next year, she will be 30 years old, the Ralph Mark Gilbert Civil Rights Museum. We're going to be celebrating the whole year. But before that, right in front of our building, on June 18th, mark your calendar, we will be putting up a marker in Dr. Gilbert's name. Ralph Mark Gilbert, the father of the civil rights movement in Savannah, and some say even Georgia, but we say Savannah for sure.
Happy King Day, and thank you so much, Vonette Good Walker. Once again, the marshal of this year's MLK Observance Day Parade.
And you see right now the One Spirit Dance Academy, under the direction of Donna Kelly Reed and Daryl Parker, is a dance school dedicated to ministry. Classes are taught in ballet, jazz, modern, tap, and hip-hop. One Spirit has reached thousands. They performed from New York City to Las Vegas, where they've proven time and time again the anointing makes the difference. They've been all over the place. They're here with us today.
And they've touched so many lives. You know, my youngest daughter, Rashay, who's now a professional dancer, once danced with One Spirit Academy.
Okay.
And there you see the founder, Donna Kelly, in the back. She's sitting down. She's not dancing with them, but let me tell you, these young ladies, they are incredible. And young men. They have young men in the organization as well. Okay.
Right behind them, there's somebody you know, the polar bear from Coca-Cola.
Yeah. You know what? This is the right weather for him, right?
Yeah. Right. This is so perfect.
Established in 1902, Savannah Coca-Cola was founded in Savannah, Georgia on East Bay Street. Coca-Cola was originally produced in 6.5-ounce bottles and distributed by mule and wagon. I was not born back then, Ben Cackle. Thank you very much.
I didn't say you were.
During those years, John Poindexter Jr. succeeded his father, John Poindexter Sr., in 1936, assuming the position of president of Savannah Coca-Cola.
The polar bear's got the right idea, though, today.
Listen, even he's not walking. No, any other day, I would crave a nice, cold Coca-Cola. Today, I'll pass.
Right, there's time for that.
There'll
be another day.
Can we just have some hot cocoa? And now we see the International Free and Accepted Modern Masons Incorporated and Order of Eastern Star. They were founded back in 1950. They say they believe in the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man. It is their duty and obligation to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, and help where they can. Faith, hope, and charity.
Right now seems like a good time to jump in and take another quick break. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes as we continue to celebrate this MLK Day here in Savannah.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a social activist and Baptist minister who played a key role in the American Civil Rights Movement from the mid-1950s until his assassination in 1968. Dr. King sought equality and human rights for African Americans, the equally disadvantaged, and all victims of injustice through peaceful protest. He was a driving force behind watershed events such as the Montgomery bus boycott and the 1963 March on Washington, which helped to bring out such landmark legislations as the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964 and is remembered each year on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a U.S. federal holiday since 1986. Join us Monday, January 20th, 2025, as we celebrate the life and legacy of a great man, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And welcome back to our coverage of Savannah's MLK Observance Day Parade, just in time for us to see A.E. Beach High School's class of 1965, Dr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am. 5 years after I left.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in the class of 60.
So tell us about A.E. Beach High School, because that's a historic school here in our community and has graduated a lot of well-known people who have done great things around the world.
That's true. Well, see, that is a legacy that comes from being in a segregated situation, because the African Americans could only go to Beach High and Woodville before Woodville became Thompson.
Yes.
And so the concentration of intelligence and opportunity was concentrated there at Beach and at Woodville. Oh, here.
We don't have a camera facing us right now, but we do have men from the ILA here. And you know what, Patty Turner, if you go over to Patty, she's going to talk to y'all for a minute, because this is one important organization here in our community.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm Patty Turner. How you doing, Patty? Okay. You're with the, I'm sorry, which? I'm the president of the Longshoremen. Oh, okay. And what's your name? Paul Mosley. Paul Mosley. Okay. President of the Longshoremen Association. Paul, how would you describe today?
Magnificent, beautiful, energetic. It's just great to be among people who are celebrating such a great man like Dr. King.
What do you hope people are taking away from today's beautiful parade?
Unity. Unity. We need to bring this world and this country together. And that's what Dr. King stood for, unity. No matter what race, what color, what creed, we all are one.
Beautiful message. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
enjoy the rest of the parade.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can hear the music from the ILA float, the ILA Local 1475. These are clerks and checkers established in June 11, 1937 at the Port of Savannah. Listen, I want to know who that skater is.
Yeah, right?
All right.
And did he do this entire route?
That's a long way to
It is
skate.
a
That's
long
a
way.
long way.
Yep.
We see the trolley now of the Local 1414. That's the International Longshoremen's Association. And now here are the clerks. I mentioned them earlier.
Yeah.
Local 1475. Clerks and checkers. I think they may have one of the best seats in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Right behind them, the fine folks at the Frank Callan Boys and Girls Club as they come through. This is the first one founded here in the state of Georgia. They've been taking care of the youth of Savannah and the surrounding counties for more than 100 years.
Yes, and Frank Callan has a history here, Dr. Johnson.
Yes, and they're so important in the community, because they take young people and really mold them into good citizens. And they have grown so much, and hopefully one day they'll be in their new home.
Now, you know, we mentioned a lot of folks who've come through Frank Callan Boys and Girls Club. I mean, just so many people in our community, but some people that the young folks may know, Flagey Johnson.
That's right. That's right. The interesting thing is, before there was a Boys and Girls Club, there was just the Boys Club. And
yeah, we have Patty Turner out there in the street. She is with the folks from the Frank Callan Boys and Girls Club. Hey, Patty, what's going on?
Hey, Ben, yeah, I'm here with Mark Lindsay, the CEO of the Frank Callan Boys and Girls Club. Mark, isn't this an amazing day today?
It's an amazing day to celebrate Dr. King and the kids, our River Boys, national champions again in football.
Ooh, congratulations!
Regional champions and cheerleading. The Boys and Girls Club is doing amazing things, and this community has always been backing us. So we thank you guys for everything.
Right after this event today, what do you guys got going on?
We've got Feed the Hungry. Carl Gilliard, our representative's there. He's a former club kid also. We're going to be doing Feed the Hungry from 2 o'clock on at the club. Please come out.
All right, you got the invitation from Mark himself. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.
We'll see you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and as he mentioned, the 16th annual Feed the Hungry MLK dinner is taking place. Here is the information on your screen. Immediately following the parade, that's at 510 East Charlton Street. For more information, call 912-436-7380. And something else that's taking place right after the parade is the concert, the annual jazz concert featuring Huxley Scott at the Unitarian Universalist Church. And that's on Troop Square, 2 o'clock-ish, because it depends on what time this parade is.
Right. Give or take.
Give or take, right?
Yeah, and you know, we're just getting started with the parade. The parade's really the kickoff to a long day of celebrations, and there's plenty going on throughout the city, plenty to do.
And we see the trolley for the 100 Black Men of Savannah. You're a member of the 100 Black Men.
I used
to be a member.
I used to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I was one of the founding members.
Yes.
But you know, I rusted out.
Well, tell us a little bit about the organization, because this is another one of those mentorship kind of organizations in our city.
Oh yeah, they do a lot of good, because they mentor young people in a very organized and systematic way, and they talk to them about life skills, career opportunities, and financial management. And that's one of the things that we really need to help our young people understand how to manage money. If you can't manage money, you can't have anything approaching wealth. And so it's a good organization for that.
Yeah, they have signature programs in economic development, education, health and wellness, leadership development, mentoring, and the Law Academy that they have every summer as well.
Yeah. No question about that.
Now, we just saw Coastal Cathedral. They had a lot of music going on in their trolley. They're having a good time.
Yes, they are.
Followed by College Park Missionary Baptist Church. They say, Happy MLK Day, everyone. And now we see the brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I see Mr. Davis there in the front with his Alpha Phi Alpha Scully on. His mother taught me English at Jenkins High School.
All right.
And they want us to all remember to march for unity.
Yeah. Our Mayor Van Johnson is Alpha.
Yes.
A lot of other prominent people in our community are members of either Alpha or Omega, or one of those Divine Nines for the women, you know.
Yes.
So all of them come together as the Divine Nine.
Some other notable members of Alpha Phi Alpha, of course, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.,
Oh, absolutely.
Thurgood Marshall, Jackie Robinson, Jesse Owens, many, many more.
Passing through right now, Carver State Bank You may have seen them as they came through just in front of our camera a minute or two ago.
Yes.
They had a great truck with a video playing on the side. They're a very important part of this community. Kim Gusby, you've done stories about them before and the real rich history about the bank.
Oh, listen, Bob and Shirley James, you know Dr. J. Let's talk about them for a moment.
Yeah, they're one of the first families of Savannah. They're involved in so much. And now another generation is coming along.
His son, correct?
His son and his daughter.
Wow.
Are all now involved in some way with the bank. And Bob James was one of the youngest bank presidents in the history of the country, if not the youngest, one of the youngest.
And the longest serving.
And the longest serving. And so they have built a real strong institution.
Okay, now, do you hear this music? Do you see these movements? These are the dancing dolls of Jackson, Birmingham, Atlanta, and Memphis from the hit TV show Bring It. It is one of the most iconic and famous dance teams in the entire world. DD4L has had the opportunity to have more than 2,000 dancers to date with the organization. Let's take a moment to watch. Now, I believe these ladies were in the parade last year as well.
Yeah.
And you know, they're on that TV show. Everybody knows about the dancing dolls.
Right. It's interesting, too, because look at the age range.
Yes.
They got the new crop coming.
They do.
That's the way to do it.
They say they are now proudly celebrating 23 years of existence.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Teach them young. You don't have to worry about replacements.
Nope.
They'll be coming right on.
They're right there behind.
They're farm club.
Right, just like a baseball team.
Yeah. Farm club. Getting them ready.
And right behind the dancing dolls, we see Jonesville Baptist Church. In 2010, they placed first for More Spirited. In 2011, they were awarded second place for Best Appearance. And they are located on Montgomery Street. Bishop James G. Rogers is the senior pastor.
You see right there on your screen, just behind these lovely ladies here, St. John Baptist, the Mighty Fortress, and St. John Academy, located on East Durant Avenue. Dr. George P. Lee III is the pastor, and then right behind that, St. John Academy.
Now let's talk about, well, now we're taking a look at Mix It, Match It. Now Mix It, Match It is a boutique where customization meets style. Discover their collection of children's footwear, including Mary Jane's. Oh, I remember Mary Jane's back in the day. Oxford's, whimsical tutu socks, and tailored gift ideas. That looks like a fun group. But you were talking about St. John, the Mighty Fortress. It used to be located not too far away from here. Was it Hartridge Street? On Hartridge Street, on the east side. Reverend Matthew Southall Brown was a pastor for many, many years there.
Yes.
And now they're located on East Durant Avenue, where George P. Lee III is the pastor. Remember that fire years ago at the church?
Yep.
But they rebuilt. Moved back into the sanctuary, a beautiful sanctuary.
No question about it.
Yes. And one of the most historic here in town as well.
Right. Now this is my church, Central Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
Yep.
Give them a shout out.
We just had a fire.
Did you?
And we had to rebuild. And we just moved in last month.
Wow.
And it's beautiful. So I would encourage people to come and visit our church.
Now, is that in Thunderbolt?
No, there is a central
Yes.
Thunderbolt,
Okay.
but this is the one in the old Hitch Village area, what we call the Old Fort.
Yes.
Those of us who've been around a while, we still talk about the Old Fort.
Yeah. And
But it's on Hull Street.
speaking of Old Fort, this church has been around for 124 years?
That's right.
Wow.
That's correct. And I've been there all my life.
Have you?
Yeah.
And we're not going to say how old, only a few years, right? What, 30, 35, 36 years?
Sounds about right. Who's counting?
28.
28,
There you
okay. Now, I believe, is this New Hampstead?
I don't think so.
No, I think we're going to go back just a little bit here. This may be the Lady Elites dance team from Atlanta under the direction of Terrell Gibbs and Christopher Bolden. Another one of the dance teams to come and be a part of the parade here today. We
Right.
certainly appreciate it. If you're going to come from out of town, we appreciate you being here
We
as well.
do.
Yeah.
We do. And that's the amazing thing about this particular parade. Folks from Atlanta, the birthplace of Dr. King, come to Savannah to celebrate his birthday.
That's right.
I think that kind of says something, though, about, and no ill will toward Atlanta and their celebration,
No.
but the magnitude and the size and the scope and just how special the celebration here in Savannah is.
That's right. Yes. Okay, so now
back on track.
We see New Hampstead Air Force
Right.
JROTC.
Right.
They are marching out of Bloomingdale. They are the 3-time defending champs, as being recognized by the MLK committee as the best JROTC marching unit in the MLK parade. The unit is led by Major Kelvin Oxendine and Master Sergeant Selena Kendrick.
They're special because I don't mean this in a negative way, but look at how they march, and there's a difference, you can tell. And so in the competitions, they stand out.
And that is why they are the 3-time defending champs.
That's right.
And something else I want to point out, do you see how many young ladies are in this unit?
Yes. Well, you know.
See, that's what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, well, that's a part of it, because wherever young women get the equal opportunity to participate, they seem to excel.
Yes.
And that's not knocking the guys, but girls seem to do it.
Yep. And we can, and that's what they're showing people, that we can do it.
Absolutely. Give people a chance.
Give us a chance.
That's what the principle of equal opportunity talks about.
Yes. And right now we're taking a look at Kelly Temple worship service. Is that the pastor in that drop top? Pastor Horace Oliver of Kelly Temple?
Yeah, it probably is.
That's located near Stiles Avenue and the In Market Arena. The Happy People Church, located in the heart of Savannah, they say.
And then right behind them on this trolley you see here, St. Mary Missionary Baptist Church, under the leadership of Reverend Lawrence F. Baker, Sr. St. Mary was founded September 2nd of 1930. They've been around for quite some time.
Yes.
We certainly appreciate them being here as well.
Now, maybe I haven't seen them, or maybe they passed by earlier. I'm not sure, but I'm so used to seeing the Tompkins High School class of 1960, 1961 in the parade, usually in a trolley. Haven't seen them yet. And the reason I say that is because, I got to give my mama a shout out every year. So there's a segue into that. Hey, Mama, we see you.
All right. So they may be coming.
They may be coming. And I think and she's holding an AmeriCorps sign. Is that right? And now we see the Benedictine military cadets.
Yeah.
This unit representing the school's JROTC program and its 375-person Corps of Cadets. Established back in 1902, Benedictine Military School has a long tradition of excellence in educating young men. They have earned the highest rating of honor unit with distinction or gold star for the last 38 consecutive years, and they have participated in the MLK Day Parade in Savannah since its inception.
Yeah, they were one of the first non-black schools to participate, and they've been here every year, and that's commendable.
That is commendable.
So they did it when it wasn't that popular.
Right. Street after Dr. King, which was a fierce fight here in the city.
It was a fierce fight. They had a lot of resistance to naming this street, and it ended up being a compromise because Reverend Mitchell and others started out talking about 37th Street, and there was a resistance to renaming any street, and we finally wore them down. Yeah, we wore them down. And then there was some controversy about West Broad Street because of the history of West Broad Street. And some of us still slip and say West Broad Street because, you know, we grew up knowing this as West Broad Street, the central business district of the black community.
Yeah, it was considered the main drag, right?
It was the main drag.
Was the main drag.
But then along came urban renewal.
I knew you were going to say it.
And here we got all of that wiped out. We got this overpass, which we're now working on replacing.
See, I knew he was going to stop as soon as he noticed who was playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a moment to listen to the 80s High Bulldogs. So not many things will get Dr. Johnson to stop mid-sentence.
But Beach High School will.
His alma mater. He said, uh-oh.
Not only that's my alma mater, but I played in the band, and anytime I see them, you know, I have to evaluate whether or not they still living up to the tradition.
Okay, so what do you think?
You got to make sure they're still tip-top shape there.
Oh yeah.
Do they still have it?
They still have it.
They still have it.
Yeah.
Listen, now I even remember when Carl Gilliard was a drum major.
That's right.
Back for Beach High School.
That's right.
Listen, you know Pastor Andre Osborne
Yeah.
of First Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church, he's turned his back on me. He walked over to say hi and then he walked away.
Yeah.
So I just want all of his members, if you're watching this right now, this Sunday when you go to church, you tell your pastor he has to do better, okay?
Oh, boy.
And that's a running thing with the two of us, because the last time he came over here to talk,
Yeah.
you know, I busted him out about telling us no about doing the vignette. This year he did do the vignette,
Yeah.
then walked over to speak and walked away.
He's a good guy.
He is. He's a great guy. And they do so much at that church. It's located right on the corner, well,
Yeah.
right down the street from
Right
us on
down
Allen
the
Street.
Yes. As we would say, right around the corner.
Right?
I have to laugh about that, stopping in mid-sentence.
Because you did.
I did.
Okay, so right now we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with Savannah's coverage, or WSAV's coverage of Savannah's MLK Observance Day Parade.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. taught us that education isn't just about knowledge, it's about character. He believed that true learning empowers us to build bridges, challenge injustice, and create a future where every child has the opportunity to thrive. Today, we honor his legacy by encouraging our students to dream boldly, think critically, and lead with compassion. Because education is the key to the world that Dr. King envisioned, a world of equality, opportunity, and hope. Let's continue his work, because together we can keep the dream alive and build the future.
All right, welcome back as we continue our coverage of this year's Savannah MLK Observance Day Parade. We are having a wonderful day here as our friends from E93 pass by and Magic 103.9, Savannah's Heritage Hip Hop Station, Magic 103.9, Savannah's R&B and Throwback Station. They're here having a great time, a beautiful day. It's a great way to celebrate Dr. King being out here at the parade today. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, it's just a little bit chilly. Not such a bad day out here at all. With me this morning, former Savannah Mayor, Dr. Otis Johnson. We certainly appreciate you helping us out here every year.
Oh, man, this is a joy. I look forward to the opportunity to participate every year. I've been doing this for about 6 years now, and it's been a great honor.
Well, we certainly appreciate you coming out here, doing this for us and with us. It's a great time as we continue to build year after year at this parade. New entries from out of town, of course, plenty of entries from in town as well. But it's great to see so many kids out here, so many young people, and all those people that come from out of town too. It says a lot about this event.
And that's important, because the spirit of this event actually permeates this whole region. And it's nice to see more, quote, out-of-town entries in the parade. And as it grows, I hope that it will have people coming from South Carolina, the other surrounding counties in Georgia, maybe even as far south as Florida.
We'd be happy to have them.
We're the host of city.
That's right. There's plenty of space in this parade. We're happy to have as many entries as we can handle here today. We're having a great time out here. Everybody's having a great time out here. One thing you'll notice about everybody around the parade, in the parade today, lots of smiles to go around.
Oh, yeah. People are happy. They're in a celebratory mood, and that says a lot, because Dr. King, I think, would be proud of Savannah in the way that we have embraced this parade. And we also have to keep encouraging people that this is a day to celebrate, but it is also a recommitment to doing what we need to do to keep the dream alive.
That's right. Our Patty Turner is out here on the streets with us this morning. She's running around interviewing everybody, saying hi to everybody. Let's get to her again. Hello there,
hey.
Patty.
Hey guys, I'm here with Pastor Larry Gordon of the Weeping Time. We're going to keep the parade moving though, Pastor. You can, tell us why this is so important that we understand what the Weeping Time is all about.
Yes, the first bipartisan bill in a long time in Georgia was passed, Bill 1425, for the Weeping Time in the Georgia State Legislature, letting us know the significance of this event, that the slaves were sold here in disgrace, but now their names are written on the float. They are coming back for the benefit of the human race. As we go forward and as these times become more polarized, then we need to move toward the slaves as we move toward each other. When we move toward honoring their names, that will bring us closer to the day to fulfill the dream. We are fulfilling the dream today with the Weeping Time Coalition, and as Martin Luther King's dream was, sons of former slaves and slave owners would walk together, and this is the proof of that prophecy. Yes. And so we need to commemorate it in Savannah. Savannah is a historical town. This should be one of the most, if not the most historical place in Savannah, and this can bring the whole world together for reflection. It's very significant as the slaves, as the hostages was released in Israel, that same spirit, this is our hostage release of these names being on the float today. This is our hostage release, that we can come together and work together to benefit humankind.
Pastor, thank you.
I represent the first service, Solomon Temple, the first ecumenical service we have every year, March 1st and 2nd, to commemorate this event. But thank you very much.
Pastor, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today and all the hard work that you've done in the community to bring this important information to light about the Weeping Time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Patty. Now, Patty, if you can get Scott Melee to come all the way back down over here to where we are, we have a special guest.
We have a legend
who's joining us. She is a living legend.
A living legend.
Yes.
That's right.
She was called the sweetheart of the movement.
That's right.
And there's a long story about that, but she can tell us in just a moment. As a matter of fact, she was last year's, was it last year or year before last? Last year's parade grand marshal.
Right.
And at, how old are you now, 91? 91 years young. Last year at 90 years old, she jumped out of her car.
That's right.
Came over to us to talk to us, and we are talking about none other than Mercedes Wright Arnold, the living legend herself. And Miss Arnold,
hello.
Such a pleasure to have you here, all the way from Conyers, Georgia?
Yes.
Conyers, Georgia, back to her hometown of Savannah, Georgia. And how does it feel coming back?
Absolutely marvelous. Every time I set foot on Savannah soil, I am delighted. And when I come for this Martin Luther King Jr. parade and see all of these wonderful people out here. And last year I saw the people from the collectors who take up the garbage and keep our beautiful city beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
I thought that this is what he died for, and waved to them and wanted to jump out, but I didn't know whether they were on an illegal lunch break to watch the parade or not, so I didn't.
We were talking about you earlier and just the work that you've done, not only here in our city, but around the country and around the world. You've worked with some of the greatest civil rights leaders. I mean, Hosea Williams, Medgar Evers.
I did. And I'm so sorry they are witnessing this from higher ground and we can't touch them and talk to them, but we appreciate and value their hard work. Yes, we do. Yes. and to see these delightful people out here who come to stand in a winter cold weather to watch this parade. It is just marvelous. I am delighted to be here. And when I get on this particular piece of land, you know where I am. I'm on hallowed ground at this Ralph Mark Gilbert, my Ralph Mark Gilbert Museum ground.
Thank you so much for being here and always taking the time to talk to us. We appreciate you so much. And she says that Otis, and she means Dr. Johnson, is still her baby, she says.
Yeah. See, I will always be Otis, you know, and it means a lot, you know, to me. Yeah. Because you were really one of the inspirations in my life. You know. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Nice talking to you as well. You know, I was trying to, but not because, you know, these are the little kids. So
Yeah.
I enjoy watching the little kids, and these are the Seaport Steelers.
That's right,
These
they
are the only Steelers that I acknowledge.
Yeah.
I may or may not feel some type of way about that.
I'm sure you do. That's black and gold.
I'm a long-suffering Steelers fan. We don't make it very far in the playoffs anymore.
It's amazing. I was talking to a friend about that just this weekend. We can't get past the first round.
We can't get past the first round. We'll work it out one of these days.
I hope so.
We're due soon, I hope.
I hope so, too.
I don't know if I want to say I'm delighted about that, but I am delighted about that.
Yeah, but
I
want Tomlin to, at least before his career is over, to make it to one of the semifinals or something.
He's got a Super Bowl. He could use another one.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
You could always use more than one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right now, we're taking a look at Islands High School Marching Band. And behind them, Epic. Epic is Gulfstream's first employee resource group for African American and Black employees. Epic's mission is to support African American and Black Gulfstream employees by cultivating a workplace environment where they feel respected, valued, and included.
I guess they were at. Oh, you're right. Okay.
Mike Oslo. Somebody gets hurt, he's in the back.
Oh my God. I was wondering if Ricky was going to be here.
I hope so.
We're now up to
Number 204. That's St. Paul CME Church coming through here. If you were tuned in earlier, you saw a really wonderful long-form piece about the history of the church and we talked about it earlier.
Yes.
This other piece of history that was unlocked by the story. Thank you. Yes, I thank you very much. Thank you for the candy. Thank you. But what I was getting at was Kim did a really wonderful story about the church and its history with Dr. King and kind of how some pieces really fell into place that they were able to unlock another piece of their history.
Correct.
Yes, and we see their pastor who is representing Omega Psi Phi fraternity, incorporating his wife who's an Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Yep.
We were talking about Reverend DeAndre Henry and the discovery of that little clip of Dr. King in the pulpit of St. Paul AME that all brought it together for him. He said that he'd heard the stories, but he didn't have the proof, and that video was the proof.
Yep.
Now, Pastor Reverend DeAndre Thurman is the pastor. The church is actually celebrating 153 years. It's located there on Barnard Street. They have a number of services, and they also do a lot of community service as well in feeding and clothing people in our area.
Right behind them was the Girl Scouts of historic Georgia, and you know they've got a very rich history in this town as well. But I saw them hand some boxes of cookies to Patty.
Did they?
You see, there's some cookies.
Oh, they're coming our way.
Believe you me, I will sniff out a cookie.
They are coming our way. Now, is our general manager going to keep these cookies?
The
question is David Hart going to keep
delivering.
these cookies, or is he giving them to us? Okay, he says they're all ours.
And you know, that tag-along cookie, that's near the top of the list.
And you know, the good thing is, well, it's kind of like a bittersweet thing because we understand that they're getting rid of 2 of the cookies, right?
One of them is the s'mores, and the s'mores cookie has a place in my heart.
Does it?
I told you, I can sniff out a cookie from anywhere.
All right.
Okay, so here's a trolley that I want to talk about with you because I know you had a personal relationship with the late Robbie Robinson.
Yes,
and this is the Robbie Robinson Scholarship Foundation. For those who don't know who this great man was, please tell us.
Robbie Robinson was a local guy who became a lawyer, and he was very active in the NAACP. And Robert and Floyd Adams and I were elected to the city council in 1983 together, and he continued working. And in 1989, he was assassinated by a mail bomb that was sent to his law office, which was on Abercorn Street, and it just blew him away and killed him. And so now we have the Robbie Robinson Foundation, which gives a scholarship to deserving students, and we have the Robbie Robinson Garage, which is named in his honor. But it was a tragedy that really affected everybody in Savannah during that time.
He did a lot of work for civil rights here in our
He
community.
was a very active civil rights lawyer, and grew up in the local NAACP.
Now we see the G100, Savannah's hip hop and throwback station. They say that they are proud to keep the work of Dr. King alive in our community. And if any of you recognize that song, that's a song by Savannah's very own Camouflage, who is the late father of Flagey Johnson.
Yeah.
And this is the First African Baptist Church of East Savannah in the truck we just saw. And they also have a trolley.
They have a trolley, yeah.
The trolley's the way to do it.
Yes.
It is. Truly is.
This is led by Pastor Cornelius and First Lady Ashley Lloyd. Believe it or not, I knew them both when they were young people, when they were just children, and now they're an adult. They're adults and they have children of their own, and he's a pastor of the church and she's the first lady.
All right.
And how can that be when I'm only 26? As you said in your words, right?
Yeah. Flip those digits around.
All right, the Ken Nugent Law Firm passed through. We do have to squeeze in another break, though. We're going to take a quick break here from Savannah's MLK Observance Day Parade. A beautiful day out here, just a little bit chilly, but not a bad day for a parade.
That's right.
We'll be right back.
The Holy Quran, which is the book of revelation for Muslims, states very succinctly, "Have we not made the earth as a place to come together?" It is with this sentiment that the Savannah Muslim community, which is comprised of the members of Masjid Jihad, the Islamic Center of Savannah, and the Islamic Center of Pula, believes that this quote from the Quran incorporates the philosophy and teachings of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that he espoused throughout his ministry for freedom, justice, and equality for African Americans in particular, and generally for the civil and human rights of all people. We therefore say to people of faith everywhere in the world, let us work together in the spirit of Dr. King to make this a better world with compassion that puts an end to suffering, mercy that quenches hatred, and forgiveness that overcomes vengeance.
Really?
We just heard the words of Lester Johnson, who's an attorney here in Savannah. He works with the Savannah-Chatham County Public School System as well. But Patty Turner is on the street right now, and she's talking to some folks
Hey,
who are
y'all.
here at the parade.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a pause in the parade, so we want to talk to some of the parade goers today. Okay, tell everybody what your names are.
My name's Mariah.
Zanaya Dempsey.
Savaria Harley.
Kathy.
All right, and you guys have been out here since the very beginning today. Why did y'all come out today?
To show my support for MLK Day because our hero done got our rights here today. And I learned a lot about him, that he was actually a great leader. So I'm out here to support people that I know that was in the parade and that for him today.
Keep his message alive, right? Okay, what brought you out today?
To have fun and turn up for Martin Luther King.
Okay, how are you connected to these young ladies?
These are my nieces.
Oh, your nieces?
Yes.
How is it for you to have these young people out here today with you, learning and understanding the importance of Dr. Martin Luther King?
It just means a lot. I wouldn't even let them sit in the house. The cold is not going to keep you out here. So we just living a dream, keeping a dream alive.
All right, well, thank you so much for talking to us today. Enjoy the rest of your parade, okay?
Yes, well, you too. Thank you. And it's beautiful weather, too. It's beautiful.
Well said. They're just keeping the dream alive of Dr. King. And I heard one young lady give a shout out to Jenkins High School, my alma mater. But right now, we are taking a look at the Windsor Forest Knights, the mighty marching knights. Please welcome the pride of the South Side under the direction of Shay Hayes, being led by Drum Major Jamal Jackson. Of the marching band for A.E. Beach High School. Here's the thing, I was a cheerleader at Jenkins and we performed in parades, but how can you perform and do a choreographed routine while playing an instrument? That is insane.
It takes practice. Yep. Every day after school we practice, and in those days when we were preparing for a parade, we'd march down 45th Street around Can Park,
yes,
all in the neighborhood, marching, getting our legs, in shape, and learning how to play while marching.
Yeah, and that's something with, especially having the wind to do that if you're playing a wind instrument.
Right. But now we didn't do all of that hopping and carrying like that now. No.
Because it's already tough enough to learn an instrument.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, we didn't do this is a new generation with that.
Okay.
Yeah. But we had what we call the quick step.
Okay.
And we learned that when we went down to see Florida A&M University Band.
Yes.
And we brought that back, and we don't see that anymore, but that was the thing in the day.
When you talk about FAMU, one of the best bands in the land.
Still is.
Florida Rattlers.
That's right.
Coming through right now, this group here, this is Johnson High School's JROTC program. They call themselves a small unit, but they're committed to achieving their goals, and that's really what matters.
That is what matters. Okay, you know, Patty is right across the street. She's talking to folks who are attending this year's parade. Patty, who do you have?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I have two adorable young ladies who've been dancing with all the bands coming by. We got to get their names. What's your name, sweetie?
Alea. Rain.
Okay, so what have you guys enjoyed about the parade today?
That we that we got candy. And we got to follow the dancers.
You got to follow the dancers? Who's been your favorite so far? Oh, they're getting a little help from this gentleman back here, Jenkins High School, he says. You want to show us some of the dance moves you learned today? Because I saw y'all doing them a minute ago.
Yes.
Okay, y'all go ahead. If I did that, I wouldn't get back up. All right, thank you so much. Y'all have a great day, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, sweeties.
That's because they have those young knees, Patty.
I know.
They have those
Right.
young
I'm so jealous.
knees. Okay. We see a unit here that says register to vote. Let's talk about voting, Dr. Johnson, and the importance in voting in every election, not just the big elections, because it's the small ones that really make the difference.
It really does make a difference to vote in every election. We have a country that depends on people voting, and that is a part of the democratic process. And when you don't vote, you're really not exercising your citizenship responsibility.
And there are a lot of people who died for the right to vote.
No question about it. It was a hard-fought right, and people like Fannie Lou Hamer and others were beaten, and
John Lewis.
Lewis was beaten for the right to vote, and so it is something that is sacred.
Coming through right now, this is the Blazing Brigade from New Hampstead. Let's take a listen.
Now, the New Hampstead Blazing Brigade, they've won superior ratings at Best in Class A at the Marching Mustang Invitational, with third place in class and superior ratings at the East Georgia Marching Championships in Statesboro during their 2024 marching season. Now, you know, we have a couple of things to remind you about today, because there are a couple of events happening right after the parade, which should end around 2 or so-ish. So, you know, if you don't get there at 2 o'clock, no worries. They're waiting on folks from the parade to come by. One of them is happening right down the street at the End Market Arena. That is Feed the Hungry's 16th annual community dinner. That will start right after the parade. And I'm sorry, not at the End Market Arena. It's happening at the Boys and Girls Club, Frank Callan Boys and Girls Club on Charlton Street. We just saw the big group of young people from the Boys and Girls Club. This organization, listen, especially when it comes to sports, I mean, these are some bright young men and women, but when it comes to sports, they are like at the top level. I remember when I was young and we used to have to play against them. Yeah, I didn't like them then. I like them now. Oh, okay. So you know what we're watching right now. We're watching those oh-so-pretty brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I just want to see them do the Kappa shimmy. I think that's going to come. I think it's coming. There it is. There it is. You see the shoulders. You know, Reverend Thurman Tillman of First African Baptist Church is a member of this fraternity. And so is my pastor, Pastor Andrew Young. No relation to Andrew Young.
Yeah.
But Andrew Young of Mosaic Church is also a Kappa. We have a lot of brothers in this fraternity.
Yeah, you know, and Pastor Tillman is in the hospital now recuperating, so let's keep him in our prayers.
Certainly will. Certainly will.
Yeah.
See, they did it back there. I want to see the shimmy. I want to see the shimmy. Y'all do the shimmy. They're just laughing me off.
Yeah.
There's my pastor. We want to see the shimmy, Pastor Drew. We want to see the shimmy. Okay, so
you know what? I think this might be working out for you.
They're going to talk to Patty Turner. Patty, I need you to ask them to do the shimmy.
For you.
Okay.
Well, here you go. This is for Kim because Kim wants to see. Here we go.
Tell them I want my pastor in this too. I want my pastor to get into this too.
Where's the pastor?
He's right there. I want my pastor in this.
The pastor needs to be in it too. Come on, Pastor. Okay.
He says I'm not doing it. Oh, there they are.
I hope Pastor Tillman is able to see this. He would be proud.
Oh, he would be delighted.
Yeah.
They're just so smooth.
Yeah.
See?
That's cool. Now you see, you can't get this in a lot of other schools. HBCUs, if these guys, look, there he is.
Look, Mr. Brown over here. That was a shimmy. They just shimmied it off. That's it.
You know
That's
where
it.
else?
That's
Keep it going, guys. Keep it going.
You know where else you can get a performance like that?
Where?
Anywhere Kim Gusby is.
Oh, yeah.
All she had to do was ask, and it came to her.
And they showed it.
I gotta just put people on the spot like that where they feel they have to.
It was a gentle encouragement.
Just a little.
Now we see Butler Memorial Presbyterian Church. Butler Memorial Church had its humble beginnings as Ezra Presbyterian Church back in 1871. It's currently located at 603 West Victory Drive in Savannah. They are honored to have Reverend Stephen Robertson as their current pastor. He is married to the former Chantel Darby from Los Angeles, California.
Coming through right now, the fine folks from the Savannah State University Naval ROTC, as we kind of hit a little bit of a block here with Savannah State for the next couple of entries, but that's their Naval ROTC program.
Yeah. They have produced outstanding officers for the Navy and the Marine Corps. They've gone on all the way to generals and just equipped themselves so well.
They say they love WSAB,
We
and
appreciate
we
that.
love you too. That's Savannah State University, of course. The University by the Sea is the first public historically black college and university in the state of Georgia and the first institution of higher learning in the city of Savannah. Hello, there's Elaine. We see her. She's with the MLK Observance Day Committee. They're trying to move these folks along in this parade.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Johnson, I want to talk to you just a little bit about Savannah State University because you also attended Savannah State University before making history at Armstrong.
Right. I started my freshman year. Matter of fact, I completed my freshman year at Savannah State after I returned from the Navy.
Thank you for your service.
I enrolled as a music education major because I was going to be a band director. Can you imagine that?
Wow. So you would have been out here in this parade directing the band because here is the marching band.
The marching band. But yeah, when I came out in 1962, that was my ambition. And the civil rights movement came along and took me to Armstrong, and the rest is history.
The rest is history that you made.
Yeah,
right?
I made a little.
So they call themselves the powerhouse of the
But
South.
I marched in the beach band. I marched in the Savannah State band.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
My first year.
All right.
In college, yeah.
Let's take a listen. They call themselves the powerhouse of the South, the most visible of the SSU bands, providing the color and excitement of Tiger athletics and enrichment of university life. The band performs regularly at home and selected away football games, parades, Battle of the Bands, and accepts invitations to perform throughout the Southeast. Gabriel Arnold is the band director, and right behind them you see the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta, Savannah's alumni chapter.
Yep.
And I think they have a trolley as well. Yes, they do.
Right. Yeah.
Hello, good morning. And you can hear Delta coming down the street.
Oh,
but listen,
yeah, they're a powerful group.
Okay, now was this by design, because they have two sororities back to back?
I don't know.
Here are the ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho following the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta.
Yeah.
And listen, you know, a lot of members of the Divine Nine, they're celebrating their anniversaries this month.
Yeah.
They have a presence in today's parade. They want to make sure that we see them. Now, right after them, we see Justice Unite Savannah together.
Right.
Now, do you know anything about this organization, Dr. J?
I don't, and I need to find out more about them and what they try to do.
Yes, just by the name Justice Savannah, we can imagine that they want a more equal and equitable community.
Well, you certainly need advocates in that arena for sure. Hey.
Coming up here underneath the overpass right now is the JROTC program from Windsor Forest High School. They have the proud heritage of marching in this parade year after year. They are regularly recognized as one of the top JROTC marching units in the Savannah area. They have a strong focus on marching in a motivated and disciplined fashion, so they're very buttoned up.
Okay, we're going to see. We're going to see as soon as they come into our view.
fantastic.
Outstanding.
That is the JROTC program from Windsor Forest High School.
Yep.
So proud of these young people. Wow.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it that they've got some good officers working with them and training them and getting them.
There's definitely some good futures there.
Oh yeah.
Great leaders among that group. Okay, so Patty, who do you have?
Oh, we got the skaters now.
I think that she's waiting on MacArthur. Okay, is she gonna go for it? Is she gonna go for it? Because we have McCarthy Giles, who's been in this parade for so very long as a part of the MLK, what do you call it? Freedom Skaters. The Freedom Skaters. I mean, they never miss a parade and they never
No, they're
disappoint.
awesome.
And listen, you see McCarthy in the blinged out jacket?
Yes.
He's been doing this for decades.
Hold on, Mr. Frazier.
Sounds like we have Patty Turner down there running around, checking in with the crowd. Patty, what do you got?
Hey, I have an Army veteran here who says this parade means a lot to him. It's Freddie Frazier. Mr. Frazier, you're live on TV right now. What's it like being here and being a part of this parade and watching all these young people getting involved and excited about Martin Luther King?
I think it's a great opportunity for our young folks to know exactly where we came from many, many years ago. And not only parade is important, but just knowing the history of it.
And you served in our military. You're an Army veteran. You're in Vietnam, and you just saw the JROTC program.
Well, that's a great experience to let them know that our young people still getting involved in the military is a great way to start.
Well, Mr. Frazier, thank you for your service and thank you for coming out today.
You're welcome.
All right. Kim, Ben?
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you for your service, Mr. Frazier. And once again, thank you for your service, Dr. Johnson, as well.
Thank you.
About 5 minutes left on
Okay, so listen, we were talking about FAMU a little while ago. Now, is this their unit? Or is this a different unit? I don't think we've gotten to them yet, but FAMU is in this parade. I think they're coming up in just a few minutes. I just saw the orange and blue, and I thought maybe that was the colors. But I think this is unit number 250.
Yeah, I think this is SWAT stepping with a twist coming through right now. And right in front of them were the El Dorado boys.
Oh, and those nice classic cars, right?
You say and things happen here, Kim Gusby.
Here they are.
Here comes the FAMU group.
Yep. The Florida A&M University local chapter, Coastal Georgia Rattlers, President Nicole Davis, chapter members of the year, Rashawn and Tiffany Walker. The unsung hero chapter member of the year is Richard Davis. And you know, you can't get any better than FAMU.
That's right.
I want to give a shout out again to my nephew, Kenyatta Tucker. He is from FAMU and he won't let you ever forget it. Okay, so we have about 5 minutes left on the CW, but you can catch us streaming live. We will continue with our parade coverage. So go on right now and log onto our website, WSAV.com, before we end on the CW, and you can continue to see our parade coverage because we will be here until the very end, which is about, what, 30, 40 more entries?
Like that. Just a handful more.
Just a handful more.
But yeah, you can hop on over to the website. You can live stream this. You know, we don't want you to miss anything, so feel free to hop on over there now. You know, fire up your phone, watch the rest of this on TV. Watch it in both places.
Yeah. In the meantime, we're going to continue with our coverage right now. We see the Savannah Company ROTC. This is a program that consists of cadets from Savannah State University and Georgia Southern University, the Savannah campuses. The company is a member of the Georgia Southern University Army ROTC Eagle Battalion. Hosanna Church is right behind them. I think that they're in the trolley. And then we see Zeta Chi Eta Phi Sorority Incorporated, a national sorority of registered professional nurses and nursing students working together to provide service for humanity. This organization works for the improvement and delivery of healthcare services in our community. Thank you so much for all you do. And to the people who are watching on the CW, it's been a wonderful parade so far. A little chilly, but you know what? It's MLK Day. We're all coming together to celebrate Dr. King's life and legacy, and it's a beautiful day.
The sun is shining, the sky is blue. You're right, it might be a little cold, but it can always be worse out here, and this truly has been a great day.
No doubt about it.
So for the CW, we're signing off right now. We will continue our coverage live on our website at WSAV.com. Happy King Day, everyone.
Continue same thing. We just don't have breaks. So yeah, we'll continue with that. Same
And I love that, listening to Dr. King's voice as we sign off from the CW, listening to his I Have a Dream speech. And the float says, together we lead, together we win. And we're going to close out with some words from one of our community members, actually the parade marshal, Vonette Goodwalker.
Happy birthday, Dr. King, as we celebrate you here in the city of Savannah. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did not visit Savannah during the heat of the NAACP protests for the civil rights movement here in the summer of 1963. He did come, though, in January 1964, and in his speech at the Municipal Auditorium said that Savannah was the most desegregated city south of the Mason-Dixon line. Dr. King gave credit to those Savannahans who participated in the civil rights movement here in this city. Thank you, Dr. King.
Thank you for sticking with us as we continue to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Savannah's 44th celebration. It's not the 44th annual because we had a few years of COVID that we had to get through, but now we are back and bigger and better than ever. This is one of the largest parades. I mean, before, we've reached numbers of nearly 300. This year is no different.
That's right.
It's been a great celebration thus far this year. As we do approach the tail end of this, there's a few dozen more. However, it's been a truly a fantastic day out here.
I want to mention something that I didn't mention before. For the folks who don't know, WSAV was the very first station to broadcast the MLK Day Parade years ago when it first started. So you saw it here first. We're still here. We'll continue to be here. And as we like to say, we're always on your side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey!
Is that how that works?
I think that's how it works.
Okay.
Right?
Got it. I'll need to remember that for next time.
We see Uncut Customs, their nice car there. A couple of other entries here in today's parade. As we mentioned, it's been a pretty cool day. I mean, cool is an understatement. It's a cold day out here.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it.
You know, but a lot of folks, they brave the weather to come out here because that's what we do on MLK Day.
Yeah.
We come out and we support the dream and the mission.
Well, you know, we play with that word cool. So this has been a cool parade for sure. You know, in the highest, you know, use of that term.
Yes.
But it's been cold.
Some of us are better suited for that cool weather than others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, we're cold and we have electric blankets here.
How about
we have
that?
on gloves. We're all wrapped up and bundled. I've never seen Ben Catco as bundled as he is.
It happens every once in a while.
This is a guy who Dr. J, in the winter, in the dead of winter, will wear shorts and his Crocs and a sweatshirt.
Wow. Well, he just told me that he's going camping. So I hope the weather will be a little warmer when he goes camping.
The good news is it's a Cub Scout lock-in, so I don't even have to really camp.
Okay.
It's a
I
we
got you.
enjoy being inside camp out.
I got you.
With all the amenities kind of camping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different kind of
All
camp
right.
out.
All right.
There's Speedwell United Methodist Church. They're waving from us in the van. And we hear their music. TG Live. Aspire to be one. United, equality, and justice for all. Okay. He ran out of the parade just to do a special dance. Can you believe he is singing this live?
Yeah.
Oh, dancing with Patty now. Can we get this, Scott Melee?
There we go.
Scott Melee, can we get this? He missed it. It's okay. Patty had a chance to show off a few of her dance moves there. We just heard from True Gentlemen, also known as TG Live. It's a live band based here in Savannah, Georgia. They're a rhythmic fusion of soul, jazz, gospel, R&B, and blues. They have performed on local, regional, national, and international stages, opening for such acts as Brick, Mr. Brown, Johnny Brown from Savannah, and Mary Davis, also of Savannah, the legendary SOS band. They've been voted Best Funk Soul Band and Best Wedding by Connect Savannah. They sound great.
I can see why.
Yes, they
I can
sound
hear
great.
why. And coming through right now, a couple of entries from the New Heights Personal Care Homes. You see there, founded in 2008, they help provide contracted services through the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities in all that they do.
And the sign on one of their vans reads, "Aspire to be one, united, equality, and justice for all." Well said. Right behind them, we see Sexton Hall Funeral Home.
Yeah.
They say today as we march forward, we honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a beacon of justice, unity, and equality at Sexton Hall Funeral Home. They are committed to upholding these values, not just in words, but in service to their community. They say, let's stand united together in purpose, aspiring to a world where every voice is heard and every life is valued with dignity and respect. I love this float that we see now. Has the word dream on it.
That is the New Life Faith and Family Church from Rincon.
Right now we're going to toss it over to Patty. Patty, who you
Come on,
have?
Sheila. This is
Pastor Janet Kareem, and today is my birthday. Happy birthday, Martin Luther King. Have a great one.
Have a great
Hey, Pastor.
one.
Mwah.
And happy birthday.
and happy birthday.
As Ben mentioned, that's New Life Faith and Family Church based in Rincon. This family church is a place of prayer, peace, and joy. They say their community is diverse with people of all ages and backgrounds coming together to worship and serve.
These young ladies right here have the right idea. Boots with fur today. They got the
love
right
it.
idea.
The only thing missing, apple bottom jeans.
Okay.
Took me a second.
Okay, so here we see Chatham County Parks and Rec. They maintain more than 51 facilities to serve the people of Chatham County. What a float that is. I love it.
And they've got some bubbles coming off of it. I mean,
Yes.
they got it going on.
They do have it going on. Now, is that them or is that another float playing the Bee Gees Staying Alive?
I think it's them.
Is it coming from them?
I think it is.
No matter where it comes from, though, it's one of those songs when you hear it, you just start looking around because everybody's moving.
I know.
Everybody's moving to it.
But in today's case, we don't know if they're moving to stay warm or if they're moving to the beach.
One way or another.
Hey. All right.
See a couple of other units rolling down the street. Now, of course, these folks started all the way on East Broad Street, went down Liberty, downtown to Broughton, down MLK. They're going to end at Anderson, near the EOA, of course, which is so appropriate that they end this parade there. That we see the folks from Urban Christian Academy this year. And the school's name and founder, Dr. Sandra Gordon, is somewhere in that trolley.
Yes.
When you see this group right here, you usually get a pretty good idea of what that means. A couple of mounted units here, including the Georgia Outlaws.
You got it.
I love the Georgia Outlaws. You know, it's been a while since we've seen them. I know they were in the last parade that we were in, but they have been gone for a couple of years, but now they are back, and we love to see it.
And you always know Let's parade in.
It's got to end here.
It's got to end there.
It's got to end there.
These were Cowboys founded right here in Savannah, Georgia, because after these horses, you know what comes next?
That's
the
right,
street
the
sweepers.
Street sweepers. Well, it's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure every year, and we so enjoy hearing the stories that you have to tell, Dr. Johnson, and your perspective on this day and just on this time period. You know, back during the civil rights movement, you were involved in the struggle. That was a pivotal moment in American history.
It was. And America will never be the same again. And we can't go back. We can only go forward. So I'm encouraging everybody to be hopeful. You know, as Jesse Jackson said, keep hope alive, because we're going to enter some turbulent times now. And so the good people have to stand up and be counted.
I think we're going to listen to another vignette before we end this year's coverage of our parade. We've spoken to so many people in our community who talked about Dr. King and Dr. King's dream. Right now we're going to hear from Savannah Mayor Van Johnson.
Today, as our nation observes a presidential inauguration, Savannah also celebrates the 45th annual MLK Day Parade, a moment of unity, pride, and purpose. As the drums roll and the banners wave, we honor the enduring legacy of the man who dreamed of justice and fought for equality. This year's theme, Keep Moving Forward, a legacy in action, reminds us that the struggle for freedom and dignity continues. From young marchers to community leaders, we reflect on Dr. King's dream, courage, and unwavering belief in love's power to transform. Together, we carry his torch, illuminating the path toward a brighter, more just tomorrow. And join us as we celebrate his 96th birthday, not just in words, but in action.
And what a way to end this year's parade with the words of Savannah Mayor Van Johnson talking about Dr. King and Dr. King's legacy. And that's why we're here today, to make sure that his dream was not in vain, that his dream continues on, and it continues through us, and it continues through the young people who come behind us.
It's so important that we bring the young people along, because that's the way we will keep this going. And there's an African saying that as long as you say my name, I will never die. So we have to keep saying Dr. King's name and recognizing what he contributed to the American culture and to the world.
Yeah.
And so today has been a wonderful day in terms of making sure we keep him alive.
Yes, as we mentioned earlier, he would have been 96 on January 15th. He was killed by an assassin's bullet on April 4th of 1968. The MLK Observancy Association, we mentioned this earlier, it's not just a day-long celebration. No. The parade is one of the highlights. This is one of the things that they do throughout the year. But they also have the Marshals Reception, which they did in November. Coming up, they will honor some students with scholarships in local businesses on the day of Dr. King's death, so that his memory will not be forgotten. And there are other events coming up. We have the brunch that's coming up, the Unity Brunch, and also the gala. We had the church service, the community worship service on yesterday. So I mean, it's just a time to celebrate not only this day, but year-round, to remember what Dr. King stood for, and not just to remember, but also act on it.
That's correct. This is a day to celebrate, but then we go back to work.
Yes. And you know, the national theme is a day on, not a day off. This is something that we didn't mention. This is also a day of service for many people. Not a day just to take a break, a holiday to stay at home, but to give back to others.
That's correct.
There's a lot going on throughout the city today, too, other than the parade, that reflects that message. There's the community luncheon that's happening here shortly, about 2 o'clock or so. That's going on. Tybie's got a cleanup today. There are plenty of ways to get involved today.
Yeah, and you know the saying, I always like to say, many hands make light work. So when we all pitch in, we can make a difference. Here's the information on Tybie's Beach Clean. It will take place from 4 until 5. All of the equipment will be provided. Just bring yourself.
All you got to do is show up.
You just want to clean up the beach near the Tybie Pier. And I think that's going to do it for this year's MLK Observance Day Parade, year 2025. I cannot believe it. You know what? 1 year. I've been coming to this parade since I was a little girl with my grandmother and my aunt and my mom, and seeing just all of the people from everywhere coming out together, people of all backgrounds and races coming together to celebrate Dr. King. The one thing that I've always wanted to do is be in the parade.
Well, we have to arrange that. We have to make that happen.
How does that happen, Dr. J? I guess you have to be, someone of your stature, Dr. J, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Otis Johnson, history maker extraordinaire. We appreciate you so much for your insight and your commentary each and every year.
Well, thank you for the honor of having me share what I've lived, and it's like I said, it's an honor. Thank you very much, and hope I can live to make next year.
Yes.
Can we? I was going to ask. Can we pencil you in for next year? Would you mind?
Oh, listen.
I hope so.
We could just put it on the book.
No pencil, Ben Caco. We're
Pen.
using a
pen.
marker.
Gotcha.
Oh, it's such fun to be with y'all every year.
We enjoy it.
Wonderful.
Well, that's our time, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again. We want to thank all of the people behind the scenes, though. Too many people to name. If I start naming people, I'm going to forget somebody. But all of the production crew, the producers, the directors, Patty Turner on the street, Alyssa Carsley, who did the weather forecast. See, I said I was not going to do this. Tim O'Connor, who is directing this parade. Scott Melee, who was on the street following Patty. Okay, you take it from here, Ben. Ha, 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 ha.
I don't want to forget any names, so I'm not going to pick up any names there. But again, a huge thank you to everybody who made this work. It's more than just the three of us. We certainly appreciate your efforts. And thank you for tuning in at home, on air, and online on the live stream. We appreciate that as well.
Have a great day, and happy MLK Day.